Hello, friends. This is Editing Wib. I'm just putting this little message at the start of the podcast because we recorded this before Christmas and just didn't get around to putting it out beforehand for various reasons. And I don't think at any point we acknowledge that, Christmas Day was happening or anything. So, we hope that you all had a lovely festive period. The episode starts now.
Hello and welcome to episode 115 of the MisanthroPod. I am Snipe, and as always I'm joined by Wib. Say hello!
Hello.
And I'm also joined by the Drumblebum. Say, what up, it's your boy!
What up, it's your boy Drumblebee! Yeah!
What up, Mom, get the camera! How are you lovely gentlemen doing today?
I was doing good.
Yeah, we made it worse.
Yeah. Now I'm just contemplating the futility of life. But apart from that, I'm okay. How are you, Matt?
Yeah, fine. Snipe?
I'm okay. I got donuts today from a
Nice.
woman in a car park.
And did you put them in your body?
What?
You put them in your body? I'm not sure
I've
I would.
already eaten one, yeah. No, Project D.
I mean, yes,
Okay.
but it might not be the same one.
Literally, there's a pub car park on the way to the supermarket, and the pub's been closed, rightly so, because, quarantine and whatnot. And I walk past, and there's just, this woman's just sent up, a little, what is it? It's like an outdoor, it's like a little gazebo, where she just has, fucking 6-foot high boxes of donuts.
Huh.
And I was like, "You're right there." And she was like, "Yeah, I'm good, just a bit cold." And I'm like, "Oh, what's this then?" She was like, "You can get a box of donuts." And I'm like,
I'm listening.
"Yeah, alright." And she was like, "You can buy a box of 4, or there's a box of 8, or there's I can't remember, it was a fancy, the mega donut." And it was this clandestine kind of there was a box next to the, on the table next to the little card machine, and she opens it towards me, and it's this big fucking, it's the diameter is 8 inches, this big donut and she was like, the mega donut, and I literally looked at her in the eyes and I went, "It's a monument to man's arrogance." And I mean that. And she was like, "What?"
I can't.
And I was like, "I mean that in the best way." And she was like, "Yeah, it's pretty immense." That was 22 pounds.
I can't believe that I leave you alone for a few hours
And
you have a clandestine
encounter with a fey
Christmas
creature.
car park donuts.
No, that was a Christmas cryptid. She obviously popped out of the Fey wilds to she probably has my soul now, because I was like, "Ooh, donuts!" And these donuts are these are not easy mode donuts. These are fucking New Game Plus donuts, my friends. These are the size of John Bernthal's fist. I measured. And it's and the toppings, there's literally, the Maltese reindeer chocolates.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
One of them just has one of those on there, and it just sits quite happily in the middle.
Nice.
And I'm like, what the fuck? The other one had 2 After 8 mints on it. The other one's got edible glitter and shit. I had the strawberry one, and I was sitting there going, "Ooh." I honestly, you need to read a guide on GameFAQs.com to eat these correctly. They are that fucking gargantuan. So yeah, so someone from the Feywild came and sold me donuts in a pub car park. So I think I've had a pretty good day.
Good.
I can't believe that this podcast started with several minutes talking about this weird, clandestine car park donuts.
I wasn't the only one buying them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to a drug dealer, you're probably not the only person that they're dealing drugs to.
Yeah, but they also probably don't take cards, so...
I mean, they probably do.
I mean, they've got to be respectable now, you can't be accepting, paper money.
No, because, it's not only is it...
Pandemic and all that.
Yeah, and also money's made up and bullshit, and I hate it.
Well, I mean, there is that too.
Yeah. But yeah, honestly,
Don't think about it, it's fine.
Yeah, if I did sell my soul to a fey creature for donuts, I mean, they're pretty good donuts, so I'm fine with that.
There are absolutely worse things you could sell your soul for.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know, an avocado. I was thinking about that because I went to Sainsbury's the other day, and there was just a lonely avocado in the end of the...
Oh.
What do they call it? The
aisle?
Not the aisle. It's like the... Okay, you're not allowed to laugh at me. It's the sideways elevator that you put food on, and then they scan it. It was at the end of the...
The end of the till.
No, that's the thing that's got money in it. But the kind of like... It's like a treadmill that they put food on.
Yeah.
The movie thing. Yeah, the treadmill. And it was just in the corner underneath all the plastic bags, there was just a lone avocado. And I was like, if I didn't genuinely believe that avocados were responsible for every single one of the world's evils, I probably would have taken it home.
Why?
Because it was a free avocado. Someone's already bought it. And it would have cost someone like 3 pence. Because it was a loose avocado.
I mean...
I bought 3 carrots the other day, and that cost me 13p, and I nearly fucking jerked off on the way home. I was so fucking proud of myself.
You know what made that was not the statement, but it's the part that the people at home can't see. It's the big smug grin that you had after saying that. Yeah, that you were so proud.
Yeah, because I didn't. Should we stop talking?
Not on the way home, at least.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, I ducked into the car park where a fey creature sold me donuts.
Yeah, it's too fucking cold to do it just out and out.
That just sounds like,
Hang on, this donut wasn't iced earlier.
That's why, it's cold, so now it's got ice on it.
Yeah.
Because I come all over it.
Oh.
Oh my god, I hate myself.
It's one of those moments where you're like, oh yeah, this is recorded.
Yeah.
Honestly, no, because I have, no self-awareness. Because I never think about what I fucking say. I know... Okay, pause. Because everyone's going to be... No way, Snipe doesn't think about what she's going to say? Never. Everything that comes out of my mouth is poetry. Well rehearsed and beautifully delivered. Filigree. In word form. Okay, it's more like a curly-whirly thrown up by a toddler, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
There's a similarity.
Shall we move on to the part of the podcast that we're supposed to be doing?
Yeah.
No, anyway. Wibble.
Yes.
Do you have any quibbles?
No, but I have some stuff to talk about.
Okay, so talk about it. What have you been up to?
So I'm going to talk about it. There's a few things that I'm only going to mention very briefly because they're quite new and I don't want to just give mountains of spoilers, especially because other people on this podcast have also not seen them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but then there's the kind of person that's like, oh, if you go here in this place, that's a spoiler. And they get really mad at you.
Well, I mean...
It's like saying Lord of the Rings, when they get to fucking Mordor and someone's like, thanks for the fucking spoiler, douche. And it's like, The book's what is it, 875 years old? Give or take a couple of years.
Yeah.
Ish.
I mean, if you don't think about what numbers mean, then yeah.
Not quite old enough to justify some of Tolkien's views, but...
They are pretty fucking, prehistoric.
Oh god, I did a voice over for Salamander's channel that is a bunch of stuff Tolkien said, and I was like, oof. I hope this doesn't get taken out of context.
Things that Wib genuinely thinks. No, stop it.
No. But anyway, my position is that if something is part of the basic premise of the work, then it's not a spoiler.
Did you know?
But anyway,
what are you going to be not spoiling for us then?
I'm going to be not spoiling the end of The Mandalorian.
Okay.
Because the Mandalorian Season 2 ended the other day. And I have a lot of thoughts about it, and a lot of them I can't really say here without giving spoilers.
Yes, good, bad.
I enjoy, overall, I really enjoyed the series. I do have a couple of quibbles about it.
I have one
Wibbles,
complaint.
quibbles.
Yeah.
You put the word quibble in my head, so it had to come up.
Yeah.
I did. So the only problem I have with The Mandalorian is because I like Star Wars and stuff on Instagram and other bits of social media. that it just keeps showing me sexy dad pictures of Pedro Pascal, who plays the Mando.
How's that a problem?
Yeah, I don't see an issue here.
It's not, but this is the thing. So, like, it just decides on which attractive actor to, like, just spam me with in my recommended posts. It's like, and the thing is, you're scrolling through your timeline now, and it'll just put, like, 40, suggested posts, and that's only, like, it's only been good once, because it was, like, oh, God, what was it? It was, like, a parrot or something. Or it was like, oh, this is a frog, like, account, and I'm like, yes. That's the only time it's ever been useful, but otherwise it's just really intense pictures of Adam Driver. Or,
Yeah, but
like...
you subscribe to those, surely, so...
Okay, you know what? Yeah. I did just unfollow a blog because I was like, it's not funny anymore. But it was just Adam Driver holding things, and then I read the description of the page, and it made me so uncomfortable. I unfollowed because it was like he can hold so many things in those giant hands, and I was like, no.
You're like, oh, this isn't a funny thing. This is a sex thing. Oh,
it's like no. I just thought it was funny. I was like, he holds a sandwich, and I'm like, he is holding a sandwich. Comedic fucking
the internet
genius.
has ruined your sense of humor.
Mate, I saw a frog, right? I saw a video of a frog. This was fucking great. You'll love it. Which was like, you know the thing they do with their throat?
Yeah.
It was doing that with its throat, and then as it was kind of going back into its body, its tummy just went blip. It was like, just like ping-ponging back and forth with this one breath. It was really funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was actually humour.
Can I talk about the Mandalorian
frog
now?
breathing is actual humour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what did I laugh at the other day that was so fucking pointless?
I don't keep a list.
Was it this conversation?
No, because I had it
Can
yesterday and I don't have clairvoyance, you dweeb.
Can I speak about Mandalorian, please?
You think you can come on this podcast and stay on topic? Really?
I mean, I was just going to try and get through this because it's a really short thing and I don't have much to say.
Okay, I love you. Could you just stop getting, like, waylaid by jackassery and please just talk about the Mandalorian?
Okay, I shall attempt to prevent myself getting waylaid by jackassery.
Yeah. Jacassery.
Jacassery. It's a regional equivalent. Anyway, the end of The Mandalorian has happened. I think the series is quite good, although I will say that I do think that the fact that it pulls so much from existing canon and starts bringing in characters from the wider kind of thing, I do feel it makes the show slightly less good because I do kind of prefer how season 1 mostly just was like doing its own thing sort of around the edges of the universe. I mean, it's not to say there aren't some characters that it's cool to see come back. And, like, I found out...
Maybe played by actors who are absolute fucking trash fires.
Sometimes. I will say, the lady that played Bo-Katan, I didn't realise is I think the lady who voiced her in the Clone Wars as well.
That's super cool.
Which is really cool. Well, I say Clone Wars and Rebels. I think she's in both, if I remember rightly. I watched those two series back to back, so they kind of blend in my mind a little bit.
Fair.
But yeah, and so that is a bit of a thing. But I did see a thing where apparently there's a thing called an Arquitans class Star Destroyer that's like a small Star Destroyer they devised for Rebels, I think. Or at least they used a lot in Rebels because making them fight full-size Star Destroyers would be a bit above their weight class. So they started using a smaller version. And Moff Gideon has one of those. And it looks like it's a physical model.
I'm gonna eat it.
Like, I saw a video where someone was going, no, look at it, like, because the CGI is pretty damn good in The Mandalorian, to be honest. Like, they do a really good job. And they did make a physical model of the Razor Crest.
Well, I mean, like, the actual sets and stuff are just really high-def, like, CGI screens.
Yeah, they're big LCD screens.
Yeah, big LCD screens, and they literally have the modelers on set with their computers, like, ready to, like, create different things in the background if needs be.
Yeah, to like,
and it's like
shift lighting and things like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. It's so cool.
But yeah, and so it looks like the Arquitans is a physical model, which is fucking great. I'm really like, I love physical models.
Is that why the desk is wonky?
What? Oh, it's an erection joke. Okay. You had to you had to give me a hand gesture there to hey.
No.
Steady now.
No. Fucking hell.
Anyway, I really like physical models in movies and TV shows and things. I like, it's not that I'm like, oh, CGI terrible, I hate it all the time, but I do just think there's a certain feeling to physical models that, I don't know, it makes me happy. I love to see them. So seeing that they've started to do that, there's even like there's a weird AT-AT crane thing in a recent episode that was apparently done with stop motion. It's just in the background, but they stop motioned it, which is
cool.
fucking amazing. Like digging into those old techniques and integrating them with new techniques is like the best. It's like how the in the first Jurassic Park, the T-Rex was effectively stop-motioned.
Well, originally it was going to be stop-motioned
Yeah.
by legendary stop-motion artist Phil Tippett. And I can't remember what movie came out, but it had CGI in it. And the whole quote from Malcolm being like it's like, oh,
I can tell you what it is.
Don't you mean we're extinct?
That
literally comes from like Phil Tippett. Because it was like, oh god, guess we're like, we're going to be cancelled. It's like, oh, don't you mean extinct? Because, and then we're like, okay, well, let's integrate. So he did all of the physical movements of like the T-Rex and the other dinosaurs and stuff. And then like they had like the visual effects team kind of build on that, which is why it still looks so fucking good.
Yeah, for to say how that was done, it was they had like the physical like maquette of the T-Rex, and that had like, I presume it had like sensors in it, or they just scanned it really high res, and then someone animated that, and then they used the movements of that to overlay the movements of the CGI T-Rex on, which is why it looks so good.
It was really immense and awesome, and then like a bunch of other fucking studios were like, we can do that, and then just decided to CGI the whole thing and keyframe it by hand, and it made it look like shit.
There was a rough time early movie CGI.
I remember the worst I ever saw, which was Alien Resurrection.
No, that's not CGI. Oh no, sorry, I'm thinking of Alien 3, that everyone thinks is CGI but isn't.
No, it's not, it's just, yeah. But no, and I remember as a little kid sitting there watching like a teaser for it, because, they film like interviews with the actors and then they intersplice it with like little bits from the movie, and there was the part where the two aliens are swimming, and I remember at the time looking at that going, that looks fucking awful. That looks real bad.
I'm just gonna say, that is not the worst by a long shot.
That's
the worst
one
one
of the worst I've seen.
It's not actually that bad. I've seen it relatively recently. It's all right.
In recent memory, I mean.
The absolute worst one.
Isn't Brad Dourif in that? Or what's his name?
Brad Dourif.
Dourif, yeah.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Isn't he the guy like supposed to make out with the bulletproof alien glass? Because he's like, the queen is fucking fit.
I think that might be him. Yeah.
He's like, hey baby.
The worst one I've seen that I can remember is the Zords from the Power Rangers movie.
I can't even remember those.
The 90s one. Not the recent one that's surprisingly good. No, the one that had the original show actors in and isn't good. And had Ivan Ooze. Yeah, there's the Zords in that were all CGI. It looked like arse.
I have one memory of that movie, just the one. And that's them walking around at night and the Yellow Ranger with her like the fucking saber-toothed tiger eyes lit up, and she was like, oh, I know, I've got headlamps basically, and that blew my fucking mind.
You know what I always remember about?
She was my favorite. I loved her so much.
You know what I always remember about that? That the helmet physically changes shape when that happens, because they obviously had a version that didn't have the lights in and a version that had the lights in.
Well, yeah, because electronics back in those days were like, oh yeah, you need like 8 9-volt batteries for like half an hour of fucking light.
So the eyes were a lot bigger on the light version. But anyway, it looks like they used a physical model in the for the Arctons in the latter bits of the Mandalorian season 2, and that's really cool. Good series.
Is fucking legit.
I'm very interested to see where they go with it. Although I am going to say they've only just announced them, but I'm already overwhelmed and don't care about the sheer amount of spin-offs that this show is getting.
It's the whole corporate shit, especially because have you heard that loads of I think it's Marvel, and loads of Star Wars writers are getting stiffed on payment by Disney.
Yeah, like Alan
It's
Dean
shock fucking horror. Big evil corporation is being big and evil.
What it is it's basically people that had written stuff before Disney took over. The main person is Alan Dean Foster, who wrote the very first novelization of Star Wars, like after the first movie, and I think he wrote the very first expanded universe novel, which is like Splinter in a Mind's Eye, I think it's called.
That rings a bell.
And yeah, his like royalty things from that had just stopped as soon as Disney took over, and apparently that's super common. For when Disney have taken things over, and so
that's super fucking gross.
Big corporations aren't your friends. No. But regardless, The Mandalorian is quite good. I am still enjoying it, and I'm really interested to see where they go. And I can't wait until enough time has passed that I can actually talk about it properly.
I can't wait until they stop putting Grogu on fucking t-shirts that suck. Like, not officially, I mean like QWERTY t-shirts and stuff. Because the things people are voting for is like, oh my god, it's like, say it's like the Ghostbusters, but it's like Baby Yoda Busters or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean
terrible.
that's already too good, and I'm just so fucking sick of it.
Okay, second thing is Discovery, Star Trek Discovery, that I actually, because it's been really nice because that and The Mandalorian come out at like more or less the same time, so I've been like watching them as a double feature each week,
Nice.
which has been really fun, and that's sort of ended now because Mandalorian's over. But the last couple of episodes have been Mirror Universe episodes, which I'm like, I don't hate the Mirror Universe, but I will say that I've said this on many occasions, the worst episodes of the best Star Trek show, Deep Space Nine, were the Mirror Universe episodes of that. Like, the original Mirror Universe episodes and the Mirror Universe episodes of Enterprise were pretty good. And honestly, I think Discovery has handled the Mirror Universe.
It just didn't need to, though. Like, I just don't care.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't know. I've only watched, for the record, I've only watched the first of the two-parter, so it could get better as far as I don't know. But so far, I just don't care about any of the characters, and I'm just like, I just want to watch the characters that I like and that are interesting.
Okay, well, I mean,
that's my thoughts anyway.
That's fair. I think I'm able to, because like I did have a kind of feeling about that when it first showed up in season 1, but then they actually did stuff with it, so it was like fine. But like season 3 has been a lot more
good.
Well, yeah, but it's been just random episodes of just things happening. It's still had its serialized structure.
Yeah,
but it's been allowed to sort of just have, like, there's episodes you could take out and the overall narrative would still work. They kind of work as standalone episodes. Which I really like, because I think Discovery really missed that. It's one of the things that I think Star Trek could do with, like, having more of again. Because that was what was really nice about the Lower Decks, is that did that, and it was cool to have that kind of episode structure back again, because it meant that, you know, like, I'm not going to just go back and watch a random episode of Discovery because they rely too much on everything else that happens around them, whereas I do that with other Star Trek series all the time.
I do that with Firefly.
Yeah, you can just do that.
I gotta watch Firefly again. Oh, so good.
But with the structure of season 3, I am much more happy to have them just have random episodes that, like, go away and do something, because it's sort of like, it doesn't matter if the overarching thing doesn't matter that much, because not every episode has to have such utility to the overarching storyline. So I don't know. That's my thing of it. Also, it was really weird to see that and The Mandalorian back to back, the last episode of it, because, you know, both of them have, like, things show up in them that I did not expect to show up, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. So yeah, but yeah, still enjoying Discovery. Yeah, he's good. He's good. Speaking of sci-fi, I have also watched a fuckload of The Expanse.
That's got Elias Toufexis in it, and that guy that you were like hey, so I've been watching The Expanse, and there's a guy in here that you will love.
Yeah, Amos.
And I was
I
like-
know what characters you find you like, and you like Amos.
I mean, to be fair, what I've heard, he sounds amazing.
He's a very interesting character. But yeah, so a load of people have recommended that I watch The Expanse. Quite a few people in podcast recommendations, actually, as well. Like, have sent in emails.
They're like, watch The Expanse, you dick. And you're like, no.
Yeah, because I watched like the first couple of episodes of it like over a year ago, and I was like, yeah, this seems pretty cool. But then I never really like carried on watching it. But I kind of broke the seal on that, got through those first handful of episodes and kind of got into it, and I'm like,
Remind me what the general conceit for The Expanse is?
Class struggles
Yeah.
between
Okay, right.
people who live on asteroid belts, Martians and Earthlings.
It's
And it's basically like... I love how you can sum up literally any sci-fi by classism in space.
yeah, it's class struggle and Cold War in space.
Yeah, that's the majority of sci-fis, which that's not like me casting shade. It's just it's a good setup. It works.
But it's it's a lot more grounded than a lot of like sci-fi series. So it tries to lean a bit.
Ironically, for a spaceship show.
But
I'll be here all week.
it's a lot more like hard. It's not hard sci-fi per se, but it is a lot harder than most sci-fis you'll see. So yeah, a basic kind of thing is that you have Earth and Mars, who have been sort of in a sort of like posturing at each other for like decades, and it's sort of everyone takes it as a inevitability that they're going to go to war. And there's also the belt, which is the
But that's where the biker mice live. We can't fight them.
It's tough.
They're some of the universe's greatest allies, and their princess Rey, or Sailor Mars, is oh my god, no, we can't do that. That's terrible.
Well, I'm sorry, it's just what's happening. Yeah. There's all these people that live on the asteroid belt, who are like people that mine it. And they're effectively an underclass that no one really gives a shit about, and they're wildly exploited. And so the thing is about these kind of three factions posturing against each other, trying to like gain power or trying to do things.
Holy shit! So it's basically you, me, and Drummer Matt. I'm definitely the belter.
But then there's another thing that comes up that like throws all of this stuff into chaos. And
Amos, the babe.
And it's really interesting how it does it. Like it does a good job of like being way more grounded. So like in a recent episode, like a bunch of people get injured on a ship that gets stopped really quickly. Like it basically.
Oh, is that thing you showed me with the guy like
getting fucking liquefied?
Getting like his face and his body just like freezing and timing in liquid. That was so fucking gory. I did not expect that shit at all.
It was related to that, but it wasn't anywhere near as harsh as that. And like so, loads of people just have broken bones and stuff, or internal bleeding, and then they're like, "Yeah, we're fucked because we don't have gravity." Like, and these kind of like the human body is designed to heal in gravity. Outside of it, you don't heal like right.
Yeah.
And most of these people are gonna die. Like.
That's pretty legit, yeah.
And it's like it does have its elements of like silly sci-fi things that aren't real. There is a faster than not faster than light, but incredibly fast like thing. How they move. It's like I can't remember what they call it, but they just refer to it as doing a burn.
Super speedy centipede.
Yeah, like a much faster way of travel. And they have various other things, but like they maintain that there isn't inherently gravity on the ships. Most of the time they're using they've got these boots that have like magnets on them, and so they're walking around like
Isaac Clarke's boots.
Yeah, so you hear little click 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 as they're moving because.
So it just sounds like everyone's wearing high heels.
It sounds like they're wearing tap shoes actually.
That's really cute.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so cute.
It's a good series. I've been really enjoying it, and because it has this more grounded tone, it means when it does do absolute nonsense sci-fi bullshit, it becomes much more. It grounds it a little bit. You accept it because everything else has had this veneer of reality to it. A good example of this, I think, is that the show is kind of smart enough to like do all this stuff to go, yeah, so there isn't inherently gravity, and like, you know, ships, like they quite often just use like the little thrusters on the side just to maneuver themselves.
Oh yeah, because they don't need a massive amount of thrust.
Yeah, and like they do all
It's
that
like throwing
stuff.
a potato out of a shopping trolley.
Yes, but they're also smart enough to know that they shouldn't make all of the space scenes be soundless, because even though that's accurate, it robs atmosphere from a lot of scenes. I know some people really like it, but not everyone thinks it's amazing. I love sci-fi, and I think every sci-fi that has done that, I think the scenes would work better with sound. Firefly did it. Battlestar Galactica does it.
Firefly did it. Because they've put Vera in a spacesuit and fire. And there is sound, it's just incredibly muted.
Yeah, like Firefly, it's not so bad because it doesn't rely so much on like space combat or anything, that can get away with it a bit more. But anything that relies on space combat and things, I don't know.
It lacks the gravity.
Yeah, it means that it lacks punch. And like I say, I know some people really like that, but
if it's not your personal favorite, then it's just not.
Yeah, I just don't. I think it like. It's not so great, and this just gets that, and I'm like, good. So it's like it knows when to be harder, and when to be softer. You know, when it relates to its sci-fi, and also I know this could be taken as a euphemism for a penis.
I didn't even think of that.
You absolutely did.
No, I didn't. I was thinking about dinosaurs.
So that sounds like a random thing you intentionally came up with, but I know that it's probably true.
No, because like dinosaurs in space and stuff, that's like just literally Dino Crisis 3, and I was like, what the fuck did Dino Crisis 3 even happen?
Money. Capcom wanted money.
I know, but like, you'd think that you wouldn't just go, okay, so we've had time-traveling dino... Well, I mean, they're time-traveling anyway, but like, let's just have them in space, and it's like... And then you play as some random, like, white dude McBlonde bitch, and it's like, wow, okay, and, like, I think everything's timed. It's really fucking weird. I can't remember much about it, because, you know, I've drunk to forget that game even existing. But yeah, then I'm just like, I remember the first time I heard it, and I was just like, oh, so is it just like a Tyrannosaurus Rex with a goldfish bowl on its head and, like, jet boosters?
I wish.
That would be, honestly, less silly.
Anyway, The Expanse is quite good. I'm getting slowly through it. I think season 5 is coming out like now, like the first few episodes I've had are out, so I'll catch up with it soon.
I love how my boy Elias Tufexis is in it.
He's in it very briefly in season 1.
Yeah.
For like 4 episodes.
Yep. But you wouldn't think so, because he posts about it on his Instagram all the fucking time.
I mean, maybe he shows up again. There are a lot of things that happen in the episodes that mean that sometimes people come back.
Mm-hmm. Just like real life.
Not sure about that. Anyway, I also played a little bit of Total War Warhammer 2.
Oh god.
Okay.
Because
you can play as the little lizard boys.
Yes. So I don't know if I mentioned this on the podcast, but next year we're sort of like going to try out Age of Sigmar. And by next year, I mean the army books arrived today.
I just don't have a start collecting box for Ossiarch Bone Reapers. So.
Yes, because you're going Ossiarchs and I'm going Seraphon.
Shock horror. I'm like, an army made out of skeletons?
What are
yes,
both of those
please.
things in like old school terms?
Okay, undead bony boys.
Oh, yeah.
Ossiarchs are kinda a remake of Tomb Kings, but also not.
Okay.
And Seraphon are lizard men.
Okay, cool. Yeah, nice.
So I've like we got our books today, and I've painted up a squad of chameleon skink that Longfang got me for Christmas.
So I'm hoping that they'll do a start collecting box soon. Otherwise, I'm just gonna buy like 3 Ossiarch Bone Reaper, 3 Goth Izar Harvestors, and that will be the entirety of my army.
Are they're the dreadnoughts with schools?
They're the bone dreadnoughts, yeah.
Yeah.
Dreadnoughts ready to
I assume you're just going to make a dreadnought army because, you know...
Wow. You come into my house with your voice.
As far as I'm aware,
Disrespect my mints.
as far as I'm aware, she can't actually make the type of 40k armies that she normally makes, but she can have a lot of
Bones.
Of bones. Yeah,
I just
of
want to
Gothizzar harvesters.
I
You can
literally just joined a subreddit called it's not something as cool as bone collectors. It's something like we like bones, or fucking like what's this bone. And then, like, people just go in and go, I found this skull in my, in my garden, what is it? And then they all sit there and nerd the fuck out about, like, occipital, like, sockets and shit. And I'm just like, I just like looking at bones.
That's fair. But yeah, so we're getting into we're going to get into playing that. Got the little books as a smaller version of the rulebook that you can get. It's like, I think it's like 20 quid, although we got it from somewhere else that was like 15 quid.
We stole it.
We did. Well, it cost us money, so we didn't steal it.
We left money because we felt bad about stealing it.
I mean, it's kind of hard to steal.
But we didn't give them the full amount, so it's still kind of like stealing. But then I guess
you're still badasses, don't worry.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're trying
and
to.
And then I hopped on my motorcycle and smoked a cigarette inside my helmet that I wasn't wearing.
From a legal standpoint, we did not steal it. We simply bought it from darksphere.co.uk.
Which is thief darknet talk for stealing in real life and not on the internet.
I don't even.
Anyway,
I have not had enough sleep.
I can tell.
Also, I've been out today with the Karens flaunting fucking quarantine shit, so I just need sensible people to talk to.
And this is what you do to us.
Hey, this is how I show affection.
Anyway, yeah. So we're getting into doing that, and also I think this will come out before the episode, but the next Codex Compliant is on a Warhammer Fantasy book. That's our Christmas special to actually do that. I think it might come out the day after this comes out.
I gotta make my Christmas jumper.
Okay, well, we're going to be recording the live action stuff today, so...
Well, it's a good thing it's not difficult to make then, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Bish.
Anyway.
Wib.
Yeah, please.
Bitch.
Please. What?
Bitch.
What?
No, I'm calling you a bitch, that was it. You
Oh,
can carry
good.
on.
It kind of lessens the effect that he just responds to it. Like,
yeah, I mean,
like,
to be fair,
what?
he does.
Wait, no, I'm insulting you. It's like, oh, I thought you were just getting my attention.
To be fair, yeah. That's kind of how our dynamic works, but, you know.
So, we have been we're making a Codex Compliant on Fantasy as well. And so those two things made me go, you know what? I should really try out playing Total War Warhammer again. So I tried to play the first one, and
that's what we were talking about.
it was, wasn't
off,
it?
Matt.
And I kind of just bounced off it because I just didn't really get it.
I've dived into it a little bit, but it's they're time consuming to get into.
Yeah, from what I can gather from people talking about it is that there's basically two phases of playing Total War, which is that you start playing the series and you're like, what is happening? Why? What? Okay, so I move this. Okay, this mechanic seems weird. Okay, all right. And then 50 hours later, it's your favorite game ever.
No, I don't think that's... I think what is actually psychologically happening to these people is that they're like, I spent 60 quid on this game. So,
maybe.
you know, and I'm trying, and I'm gonna play it for 12 hours and try and like it. And then they put so much into it, it becomes a half and half between the sunk cost fallacy and Stockholm syndrome.
When I say that people, after 50 hours, it's people's favourite game, I don't mean that they play it and it slowly becomes their favourite game. I mean, they don't get it for 50 hours, and then at 50 hours, it's their favourite game.
It just clicks, and then...
Yeah, it just clicks, and then suddenly they'll play 1,000 hours of it. That seems to be the sort of thing. that was happening, and so I'm not going to put 50 hours into it if I don't enjoy it. Call me silly,
But you might enjoy it.
but I don't buy into that. But I've been trying it out, and I'm starting to slowly get it after a couple of hours. And I am playing Lizardmen because I thought that'd be a fun thing to do because that's what I'm sort of going with. And skinks are adorable, and I love them.
Yeah, they're great.
Because I'm making a skink-based Lizardman army, so that's gonna be a lot of fun. And I do understand people liking it a lot, the Total War a lot more now after like kind of spending a few hours with it. Although, wow, does the game have a habit of going, oh, all you need to do is use this mechanic and that'll do that. And then you go, how do I use that mechanic? And then it brings up a several paragraph explanation that then has hyperlinks to other things. And you sit there and you go, oh dear.
That's like the Tolkien dictionary. Like glossary?
Oh, yeah, the little glossary at the back of Tolkien books.
It's like that shit, and it's like, oof.
Yeah. Dune has that as well.
Of course it fucking does. Holy
Apparently
shit.
that's what drove my dad mad trying to read Dune. was like every few pages it like mentioning a term.
This is a Fremen, and it's like, flip to the back of the book.
Yeah.
It's like trying to do a crossword and you just don't know any of the words, so you keep having to flip to the back of the book and cheat.
I mean, one would say that you're not supposed to know the words in a crossword. That's kind of the point.
I mean, you know, your goal is to find them out.
I know. I'm just teasing.
Also, crosswords are code breakers for twats. I'm joking. I just prefer code breakers.
So I'm chipping away at Total War. I'm going to be playing a bit of a co-op game with someone at some point. So that's going to be interesting because I don't know how that works.
See, it's really fun because I know you probably haven't named them because you don't want to put pressure on them, but it just sounds so ominous. Like, I will be playing co-op with someone at some point, and it's just like, oh shit. Is there a lottery? Have they yet to be selected? It just sounds very ominous, and I like it.
I just don't like to. I just didn't want to just name drop randomly.
No. I know. It's just really fun.
Zerndil, by the way. It's just
Ernest Dillon. Everyone's favourite boy.
But
honestly, I wasn't trying to get that out of you. I was just saying, it just sounded really kind of. At some point, I will show up. I will darken the doorstep of your fine abode. As your family huddle round the hearth, you will be aware of my presence, for I have not knocked. I have in no way announced my presence, but you and all of your kin will know, deep into the bones of your very selves, it is time to duel. Or play Total Warhammer 2, you know.
Okay.
That's kind of how it felt.
Okay.
Or something. I don't know. Okay. Whatever.
I'm going to talk about the last thing I wanted to talk about.
You should do that.
I'm going to try. We'll see how it goes. Which is that we did a stream of Super Hot VR the other day.
Yeah, Whip punched me in the ribs.
Yeah, I kind of did.
Not the first time.
I mean, you punched the wall a bunch.
I did.
Yeah, still got to try and get rid of that mark.
Magic eraser, it's fine.
But yeah, we a little bit ago. Lynn Squiggly, who you might know from we've posted their videos a couple of times on social media and stuff, sent us their old VR headset because she was getting a newer, fancier one.
Yeah,
and she
very kindly just sent it all over.
She was like, "Hey, do you want this one? Because I was just going to give it away anyway." And we're like, "Yeah." It's a Dell mixed reality thing. I don't know specifics.
It's pretty rad. It's got the cool kind of circle hand things that are just a ring of light. It's very cute, very cool. Huh.
And we've been meaning to kind of do stuff with it for a while, but with the world being kind of slowly on fire for the last year, it's a lot of projects kind of have been put to the back of the queue, as it were. And so you don't really get to try things out, especially like with something like VR, where you can't just like do it. You kind of have to like clear a space because we've got quite a spacious like living room,
and ours is like the minimum.
And like the room we have is still like the minimum like space that we need. yeah, so we tried out Superhot VR and we streamed it. There is a VOD up on YouTube on there's an unofficial stream backup like archive
Done by Big Titty Goth Girl.
Yeah,
who is amazing.
Who put that together, and yeah, so you can see it if you want. But yeah, and so we played a bunch of Superhot VR, and yeah, Superhot works really fucking well in VR.
It's so fucking good. I mean, Superhot, like, excluding mind control delete, because I thought that was quite poor.
Yeah, that wasn't great.
It wasn't great. But, like, Superhot and Superhot VR are fucking great games. And oh my god, like, we were both sweating so hard playing Superhot VR.
Oh, yeah.
Like, because I was like, it just felt like boxing to me. But without really any footwork, which I fucking hate footwork. It's the worst. I hate it.
And yeah, it's just really, it just works really, really well in that. I realized at the end of it, after playing this thing for several hours, that repeatedly crouching over and over again, because of course people are shooting at you. Yeah, I'm effectively doing squats for that entire time, and wow, is it like fucked up the muscles that I don't normally use in my legs, like. It's like 3 days later, or 3 or 4 days later.
You need to VR more because you're blessed with this amazing metabolism, so you never have to exercise or watch what you eat to look like. And people will accuse me of being unhealthy instead of you, who literally just eats like chocolate digestives for breakfast.
You look after yourself vastly better than I do.
Yeah, this is the thing. Just because someone's like overweight doesn't mean they're unhealthy.
People just are built different.
Yeah, I'm built like a brick fucking shithouse. So
I'm incredibly lucky in that I can treat my body like an absolute fucking dumpster, and it still works.
Yeah, which is really funny when you squat for an hour and then you're like, I can't move my legs.
Yeah,
bloody hell.
Thus proving
that ruined my life.
Thus proving that despite how I look, I am not very like fit at all.
But I still love you.
I think you're well fit.
Oh, fucking A.
Oh my god. I heard someone go like, oh, look at that fitty. Fitty?
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's disgusting. That's almost as disgusting as soup.
I mean, it could be worse. They could have said that's a nice bit of gash. Like, I've heard that before, and that's the worst.
Yeah.
Did you... Did Longfang call you that?
Only when he holds me. Anyway.
He is a tender lover.
But yeah, it's very physically, like, you don't realise how much the physicality is of it until you've done it for a couple of hours. But yeah, it is
good exercise.
Yeah, you really do work up a sweat doing it, and that's really cool.
Put your ankle weights on and just go nuts, darling.
Yes. The big difference between it and regular Superhot, if you haven't seen it, is just simply that you are stuck in one place. And obviously you have the VR things to manipulate things, and so you can obviously duck behind things and like,
I hit under
Matrix
a wall.
dodge out the way of bullets, like, which is quite fun.
It is pretty good.
And there's just it plays with the mechanics of the original game in a really fun and interesting way, a way that Mind Control Delete really didn't, because that was just more of the same, whereas this is its own unique thing, and it's not the same. It's not just Superhot translated into it, all the levels.
They're like built for VR.
Yeah, I mean, some of them do look like they use the same place, but the levels are purposely constructed to work in VR.
Yeah.
Every single one of them, so.
And it's hard, but it's fun.
Yeah, it is. We were stuck for like half an hour on some of those brackets.
But it's like, it wasn't frustrating. It was just like, oh, okay, shit. Okay, I'll do it, slightly different this time. So it's still worth it.
But yeah, so we'll continue our adventures in VR. But that was kind of our proper introduction. Because obviously we played some stuff like testing it out. But that was our first proper like VR session, as it were. It wasn't just trying out little games here and there.
You had that weird disassociative moment where you put your hands down
Oh yeah, I had a moment like where
Because on screen it's like the little like trigger buttons with the circle kind of thing on it, isn't it?
Well, it is. It is in like some screens, but in Super High, you just have some black hands, like they're made of the crystalline kind of thing.
Completely forgot about that. I honestly don't remember them even being there.
Yeah,
weird. Anyway,
but you have that. You have the hands, and I remember at one point I put my hands down, and I happened to look down into like my peripheral vision, where I could see both the edge of the screen and like my torso, like underneath the bottom of it, and I saw my virtual hands pass out of view and then become my real hands. And I had a moment. I was like, "Oh, that's fucking weird."
There was a part where I don't really want to spoil it, but
don't spoil it. It's fine. It's an old game.
It's where basically it's like you start and you're just on the ledge of like this building. You look down, you're like, "Huh, that's a fucking long way," and it's like, "Oh, jump." So you do, and it actually made my tummy do the thing. You know when you go over it like in a car and a dip, and you're like, "Ugh." It made me do that.
Weird, right?
Yeah, I was like, "Ah!" And then Wib was like, "Do you need a minute?" I'm like, no, that was just, I did not expect that to happen. It was so weird.
It's VR is interesting. And speaking of which, I am now going to pass over to the world's first virtual reality person, Drummer Matt.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
I'm saying that you are in fact an
AI.
You're an AI. You're not. You're a virtual human.
I'm not.
Virtual human, real drummer. Don't ask.
That reminds me. I said to my Siri the other day. I said, "Hey, thank you for everything you do for me," and she was like, "Of course." And I was like, "Ah." And then I immediately thought, like, this is what spares me from the inevitable Skynet uprising, is that I occasionally turn around and go, "Siri, thank you for everything you do." And she's like, "That's fine. That's what I'm here for." And I'm like, I'm definitely going to be the only human survivor.
Well,
yeah, but you do also tell it to fuck off a lot as well.
No, because like your Siri like lips me.
Because you ask something and then my phone activates.
No, your phone activates and my phone hears it activate and stops. So your Siri is constantly talking over mine, and I'm like, and then whenever I do try and activate yours on purpose, it never works. Ever.
Oh, I'm starting to think that our series are literally just a manifestation of this podcast.
Yeah, you need to let me talk more, honestly. Terrible. Anyway, drummer
Excellent.
bum, virtual bum.
Yes, we'll get to that very quickly because I've not done much else. Yeah, I've been watching Discovery, but we've already mentioned that. I'm just not a fan of the new episode. I think I'm just enjoying this series so much. I want to get on with this series, and it sort of feels like bonus episodes that should just be online or something. I don't know. I'm just not a fan, honestly.
Fair enough.
But we've already spoke about that. Conduct Together, which I was playing last week, took an unexpected twist.
Fucking god. Okay.
I'm now doing Trains in Space, which is an improvement.
What?
Space trains.
You know how every sea creature wants to become a crustacean? Like, every sea creature wants to be...
No, crustaceans are the worst.
No. Literally,
the aim is to move away from being a crustacean, because crustaceans are the worst.
Literally, like, the way evolution is going, they all try and evolve into crabs.
Yeah, like, things have evolved into crabs, like, 3 or 4 separate times.
It's if I had a pound for every time a piece of sea life evolved
every time you'd evolve into a crab,
I would have like 4 pounds, but it would be weird that it happened 4 times.
Yeah, okay, right, yeah, I get you.
But yeah, and like you two, anything you do slowly evolves into sci-fi. Every single fucking thing. I was playing a train simulator and it turned into a sci-fi because of fucking course it did.
Oh, Matt.
Yep.
Guess who got their childhood train set?
I know, I saw on the Twitter. I'm excited for you.
I've got a flying
does
Scot.
Does it work?
I haven't had a chance to test it yet.
Okay.
some of the things need a lot of like restoration, like the track in particular. Some of it's like degraded and it needs to be repaired. But some
That's
of the
doable though. We did that when we dug out our old Scale Electric stuff. Where you could just get a bit of like Scotch-Brite or something and just scrub up the contacts. And it's
that's
okay.
That's basically it. And the trains themselves, for the most part, are all in pretty good nick, especially the two ones that were still kind of kept in their boxes, which was an Intercity 125 and the Flying Scotsman.
Nice.
So, yeah. I just thought I'd mention that to you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. No, you have to update everyone. I'm sure at least one other person listening is interested in your exploits.
Certainly not Sniper, heads down on the desk right now.
Stop fucking calling me out. I just thought I'd have a quick nap while you're all talking about fucking trains and shit.
But yes, so the main thing I've been doing this week is that I weirdly, completely coincidentally, have also been playing VR.
Yes.
We borrowed a set off a friend for an afternoon just to try it out, because I've been eyeing up getting something for ages, but especially in the last like maybe 4 or 5 years, but just basically progressively throughout my life, I've been getting worse and worse at being car sick. Or like just like movement sick, so on like any form of transport. If I'm driving, I'm fine. But if I'm in the passenger seat, if I'm not concentrating on looking ahead and basically almost pretending I'm driving, or not quite, but like looking out as if I was driving, if I like look down for like even like a minute or 30 seconds, I'll just start feeling really car sick. And I was like, motion sickness is a thing that some people get with VR. If I'm susceptible to travel sickness, does that correlate to VR motion sickness? So I was like, I don't want to spend, because, even the cheapest sets, they're not the cheapest.
No.
Yeah.
So I was like, do I want to spend money on this and find out it's unplayable to me? So I was like, right, well, we've got a friend who've got one, we'll borrow off them for the afternoon, and we'll give it a go. I can happily report that I don't. The one time I did once, when I turned on one of the games I played, which I'll get to, Half-Life Alyx. Just to see what it looks like.
That actually. Yeah.
We didn't get out of the first room. We were just messing about with things like you can just pick up pens, like marker pens, off the floor and just start writing on the windows. So we got distracted, doodling on the windows, basically.
Okay,
but
the fact that you've said that means that my fucking ass is never gonna leave that initial room, because I want to be like, Dick Bud is a little old Dick Bud. I'm in Half-Life Alyx.
I did see a video of like a maths teacher or something doing this back at the start of lockdown, did like a virtual lesson, basically in Half-Life Alyx, using the window and the board and the pens as like a virtual whiteboard or whatever.
Dude, that is so fucking cool.
Yeah, it is cool. But yeah,
also,
the movement option.
Oh, sorry.
You go.
I forgot.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh wait, no. I heard once. What?
Jesus.
Fuck off. I heard once that someone defined adulthood by when you become an adult, because you stop having fun just doing whatever the fuck you want in the car, and you start looking when the car is leaving, like is like turning out. You start looking in the direction cars could be coming, and that fucking struck a chord with me.
Yeah, that's good.
I was just like, holy shit, yeah. Anyway, Half-Life Alyx.
Yeah, so this isn't the first game we played, but I'll do these in this order just because it flowed better. So the way you guys, I guess it's super hot if you don't move, you don't have this, but have you? The way that you can move around in quite a few games is you sort of basically point one hand at a bit on the floor and then like click there and you'll teleport to that bit, and it's the way it sort of gets around the continuous moving thing. And once you are somewhere, you can move around, you can step forwards and backs and do all that. But if you want to move a bigger distance, as in like you want to walk outside of the whatever room you've got in your bedroom or wherever, you sort of teleport around, and that seems to be a way that a lot of games do it.
That does mitigate
either to like
sickness.
set points, or to wherever you want, but it still has to do this teleport thing. One of the options you can do that in Alyx, but one of the options is you just have continuous movement. So the joystick, or it's not a joystick it was a HTC Vive we played with. So it's got like weird touch sensitive, instead of a D-pad, it's got like a joystick, it's got like a touch sensitive pad thing. But anyway, whichever way you push on that, you just move as if you're like pushing a joystick forward. Okay. So it's like completely free. It's it's effectively you're like playing with a controller for movement. Having that on made me immediately feel a bit funny.
Yeah, that's why they
because you get, which is why a lot of things don't do it like that, because it's. I'm sure if you can get behind it, it's really immersive and great, but for a lot of people, it was just immediately like, nope. I was like, I want to try this because this is the worst it's going to be. So if I'm fine with this, I'm fine with anything. Was my logic. I was not fine with that.
From what I've heard, it is possible to like get better with that. There's a YouTuber called Up Is Not Jump, who he's done some videos about some because I think he's like a chemist. It's like what he originally trained to do. He does some science videos I think you'd really like, actually.
Okay. Because you're a big nerd.
Because you're a massive nerd.
Yeah.
He does a really good job of teaching complicated things in a way that's easy to remember because it's kind of funny and stuff.
It's a skill, that. Yeah.
Yeah, genuinely really cool. Okay. But mostly he does VR stuff.
Okay.
And he did talk about the concept of VR legs or vlegs.
Good.
Which it is, like sometimes you'll start off and you feel really ill with something, but if you keep experiencing it, sometimes you just get used to it.
That's true.
He found that like the only thing I found that made me feel a bit off was I played a game called Air Car. That's just a little like tech demo-y kind of thing where you just fly a hover car around like a big city, and that's kind of it. And doing certain air maneuvers of like doing like barrel rolls and things, some of that made me feel a bit off because then I was getting like contradictory stuff from my inner ear and spin, and then my eyes were seeing a spin, and that made me feel a bit wrong. But
you know why? Because your brain thinks you're poisoned.
Yeah.
So it tries to make you throw up to expel it from your system. Which is also where sickness and all that shit
the
comes
best
from
summary of being human bodies are both insanely clever and also incredibly stupid.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just like, how are you both these things at once? Like, humans. I don't know.
Well, the thing is, like, the maximum speed a human could go at was the speed of a horse for millions of years, and then in the last 150 years, suddenly that speed has been getting faster and faster.
Yeah. Thanks, cocaine.
Excellent. Yeah.
But yeah, so I had 2 hours with this VR set, and I was like, right, I'll just give a try of some random games just to see what they're like. So here's my summary of a few of them. First up, which is what I was quite excited about anyway, and because it's what everyone talks about, Beat Saber. Beat Saber is you're in like a...
Is it like audio surf with lightsabers?
Yeah. Effectively. Yeah.
Oh.
It's like
I thought you guys would laugh at me.
No,
and call me
it's like
stupid or something.
it's Guitar Hero or any of these sort of things where you're doing things to a beat and you sort of see the things coming towards you and you have to do it in time. But instead of having buttons you press, you've got a lightsaber in each hand and you've got blocks coming to you and you have to chop the blocks up with the lightsabers.
Okay,
and it is exactly as cool as that sounds.
It sounds really cool because I was sitting there because I know that they did do like a Kinect Star Wars game, but it was fucking shit because it was for the Kinect. And it's like I would love to play a Star Wars game when if I had like a lightsaber.
The blocks coming towards you like there's two colours, so you've got a red and a blue, I think it is, and I don't know. I think different versions I don't know if you can change it, but anyway, you've got two different colours lightsabers, and I'm sure for legal purposes they're not lightsabers.
No, they're just sabers, and they're spelled like, SABRE probably because lightsaber is spelled the American silly way.
And then the blocks coming towards you, they're obviously the two colours for the things, but they've also got a direction arrow on, so you've got to slice them the right way. So it sort of gets you dancing and like going down, because you'll slice one down and the next one will be slicing up. So you get like such a good flow.
That's that weird video that Ruth sent the group chat.
Yes, I was not. Yes, yes. She, without me knowing, although I don't mind, she filmed me playing this. She filmed me a few times actually. One time was playing this, and because I was just playing on someone else's thing. I think you can download. Basically, people have made all manner of different songs, and I think it's like Guitar Hero. You can like somehow import songs that other people have made.
It was very difficult to do that with Guitar Hero because it was like technically, like you had to overwrite existing songs. You couldn't have new ones.
Okay. Well,
I mean, that was with the really old ones.
That was with the old ones.
Yeah, I think that's what you can do. But because we were on someone else's system, I didn't want to mess. I was just using the built-in tracks. So they're all like just generic electronic dance ones, but like with a little bit of whoobs and things. So
that sounds great.
It was very safe for what you're doing, especially because you've got this sort of cyberish, like the obviously lightsaber things, and then it's not making an attempt to be like a real life setting in VR. You're in like Tron or something. It looks like VR. Or it looks like how VR looks in films, if that sort of makes sense.
So
I 100% know what you're talking about. Yeah,
yeah, Tron basically. So does that sort of music fit? So I was doing that, but Ruth filmed me and then double sped it and then put it to baby metal, which actually works alarmingly well.
Yes.
And now I want to do Beat Saber to baby metal, which I'm hoping is something you can do in the... Yeah, spoiler alert, we've now bought a VR set.
Oh, nice.
Which I'll get to at the end.
We'll have to play. There's a ghost hunting game that I need more people to play with, so I'm gonna rope you into that as well.
Okay. Well, I was going to save this to later. We've bought the Oculus Quest 2. So
apparently that's
it has limitations, which I'm very aware of. Firstly, being the whole compulsory Facebook login, not
Oh, ew.
shouldn't be allowed, let alone shouldn't be moral. Like, just
it's like, why don't you just send a Russian fucking super spy to my house to fucking sit on my lap as I'm showering?
It's the worst. But I mean, I have an old Facebook account that I never use for anything, so I was like, you know what? I don't care if it's linked to this for me personally, but I completely get if you use Facebook for even anything at all.
I have a Facebook account, but it doesn't have my real name in it for many boring and very unpleasant reasons. And like my fucking health advisor John, he's like, "Hey, yeah, you could join this group that I've made." And I'm like, "John, my name is Frank Star Wars. I can't join it." And he's like, "Yeah, actually, maybe don't." And he's like, "You know what? Just text me if you need anything." I'm like, "Thank you for understanding."
Yeah, there is talk of various people being banned because their Facebook account isn't their real name, or various. It's
fucking
proper,
ban me. You'll be doing me a favor.
No, but I mean banned from Oculus, which means that then
fuck that.
You can't use the VR set you spent money on because you've been. Yeah, it's a whole thing, and I'm very, very aware of that. And it's the
really
worst.
Fucking bullshit.
But it is. But
that's like if an employer sees that you drink alcohol on your social media, they're allowed to dispatch fucking murderers to your house and kill your family.
Yeah,
that's
fucking
bullshit. I hate it
completely.
Yeah.
I know, and I'm very, very aware of this. But for my specific situation,
I'm
like okay with it. But
no, dude, I'm not having a go at you at all. I'm just having a go at the practice. It's really fucking sinister.
I'm more justifying it to myself, to be honest.
Fair.
And because it's a self-contained thing, so you don't plug it into your PC. You can do later on, and now, but you don't have. It's just it's a mobile phone processor strapped to your face, basically, which does limit it. What games you can get? You can get Super Hot on it. You can get Beat Saber. You can get quite a few. You can't get explicitly PC games, so like Half-Life Alyx. So what I was going to say to you is I don't know whether it'll have the same game on that you want to play. It might do.
Well, I mean, if it does, I mean, to be fair, you can play tabletop sim in it, so we could just have a fucking game of.
Yeah, I didn't actually. I went through and I was like, right, which of the games I want to play, especially, and which ones of those work on the Quest, and enough of them did. I didn't check Tabletop Simulator.
Tabletop Simulator is incredibly simple.
Yeah, exactly.
Very basic, so I reckon it's probably pretty likely.
Yeah, and the other reason we bought this one is that it's inside-out tracking, so it's got cameras on the face mask, but you don't need any poles or trackers or any external stuff. So for the space we've got, it's you just put this on your head and there's no wires or anything. So for the space we've got and how easy we want to get it out and put it away and things, it worked best for us. What you can do is you can get a USB cable, which I think, they sell an official one for £90 or something ludicrous.
Or you can get an actual one for a tenner.
Yeah, well, I think the one that they sell is a fibre optic one, so I don't know if it has. But anyway, it's a not completely infeasible add-on, and then you can plug it into your computer and use it as a PC VR set as well.
Oh shit!
So that you can do that in the future. But where we are now, where my PC is, there's just, I can reach, if I lean forward, I can reach my wall that I'm facing, and I can almost reach the wall behind me if I turn around. So it's not exactly, it's like a little, box room, bedroom thing.
I'm imagining, that part in Austin Powers where he gets the car stuck completely. It's basically that's you.
That, but not as long.
Well, no, I didn't think it'd be as long, but yeah, basically.
Yeah, it's
and you're like, I want some orange sherbet, because that's how you sound.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, that is in the future if we can. And actually, Ruth's laptop it's got a 2060 in it, I think, but not the mobile version. So that might actually be okay with, because she bought it for doing science experiments and things. Yeah. But coincidentally, so we can play with that. But the main reason I got it is so we don't have to do that, and we can just do it as a standalone thing.
Oh, that's really cool, dude.
But yeah, it has Beat Saber on, which makes me very happy. The other ones I tried while I was there, because I was like, right, I want to, try a few different games. We tried, I've forgotten what it's called. It's Batman, probably Arkham VR, I imagine, but who knows. It's the Batman experience, and it is very cool.
Oh, really?
Like, it's the first one we played where it's like you start off in like you're just in Wayne Manor, and you're just stood in front of the piano, and you can like just reach down, you can just reach down and pick up well, not quite yet, because you go to try and pick it up and you're like, why can't this pick up? And then Alfred turns up and goes, I suppose you're looking for this, and hands you the key. So you have to reach out and grab the key off him and then put it in the piano, and then you can lift up the thing and play, and you can just pick up the phone. It's the first time I've done, because this is the first time I've tried any VR at all, and the first one we did was Beat Saber, but it is VR, but it's not the same. Like, you don't interact with your surroundings. You just got lightsabers and sticks and things.
You just kind of flail around like a weirdo.
So this Batman was the first one where you can just reach out and just pick up like picture frames off the top of the piano, or turn over and there's a phone ringing. The Batman red phone. It rings.
Oh god, they had the Batman red phone.
Yeah, obviously. You pick it up, and you pick it up by gripping the controller tightly, because it's got like side buttons on it. So you like grip your hand to like grip the phone. And then you can't hear it, but you put your hand to your ear, and it's such an obvious thing, but like the sound of the phone speaker, like headset thingy, gets louder as you bring it to your ear. And then
That is so cool.
It's such an obvious thing, but it's like, what? This is. I sound like an old person talking about video games for the first time. It looks so realistic.
There's this hedgehog, and he's blue.
Yeah, right.
There
But
is.
it's so cool. You just like
fast.
put the phone in there, you can hear that it's like you've got this many messages and it sounds
That
phoning.
reminds
and
me,
you put it away
there
from your ear
is-
and it gets quiet, and you're like, what the hell? This is so cool.
That is so fucking clever. It reminds me of there was a horror game for the Wii, because the Wii like Mote had a speaker in it, and to be fair, they did come out with some really interesting ways to use that. And this was like I can't remember what it was. It was a generic Japanese kind of horror thing. So obviously it takes place in a school.
Yeah.
And you get you have your phone with you, and it rings, and then you hold it to your ear. And it doesn't come through the TV, it comes through the actual Wiimote, like it's an actual phone. And I'm like, that is so fucking cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That is really cool.
I remember
There is
using
something-
that in Zelda, and when you used it to pull the bowstring back, you could hear the like tension of the bowstring.
Oh, that's
Very
so cool.
Like, I have noticed, like, with to go back to the VR specifically, like, there are just little moments here and there when you're messing around with it where you do kind of go, where it kind of clicks with you in one way or
well, this
another.
Batman
like,
one has a few. There's that bit, and then you press. You have to like bring up the piano thing, and you press like a few certain buttons on the piano, and
The
turns out
secret
you're
door opens.
well, no, not even that. It just starts starts lowering you down on like a lift, basically, from where you're standing. So that felt weird, because like obviously you're dropping down, so it feels like you said, with jumping over the cliff or the edge or whatever.
Yeah.
It feels like that. But then when you're down there, you suit up. So you like put your hands into like the thing to put your gloves on.
Do you have to do like your own zip up and shit?
Not quite, but you put your hands in to do the gloves, and then when you put your cowl on, so the cowl comes in front of you, facing you, you have to grab it and like twist it through 180 and put it on your head. And just as you put it on your head, like a mirror appears in front of you, and you can see yourself as Batman. And it is, and then you turn your head, and your head in the mirror turns. It's like, this is so cool.
Okay, that is so cool, but I do have one massive problem with that. Batman can't turn his head. The bat look is a very real thing, and we're not talking about the Nolanverse here, okay? We're talking about old school shit.
Well, whichever version of the cowl this is, it's got a slightly flexible neck, so you can see yourself and move.
I would love it if, like, it somehow just became an immovable object where you tried to move your head and you're like,
I will
say
be
that
immersive, but horrifying.
yeah, especially because if you sneeze or something, you'd like break your neck. Well, the way I sneeze anyway, because I sneeze like a dad.
There was a bit in Superhot that was kind of similar to that, actually, where you put on a VR headset inside the game.
But the thing is, it wasn't a VR headset. Okay. It was basically Cerebro.
Well, yeah,
it was
kind
a
of.
big ball.
But the point is that it's when you put this thing on, there was something like putting something on your head in VR for some reason is one of those things that just felt more real than other things.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's a weird one.
Also,
it's very cool.
Mm.
I think I'm getting quite. We've ordered one. It hasn't arrived yet. It was so we're still waiting. But I think I'm just getting like really excited just talking about it, which is quite funny.
Dude,
so sorry if I'm just like blabbering.
No.
Dude, like you know that's literally all I ever fucking do.
Fair. So the last game we tried, we did Half-Life Alex for a little bit, but it's one of those ones that you can try it out and see how it looks and see how it feels, but that's
It's not something you can
that's like a
really...
proper game. You don't want to.
Yeah.
You can't really get your teeth into it if you're just borrowing it for an hour.
So the last one we did was I can't remember. It's called the Lab or something. It's Valve did it as like a demo for whichever the Valve headset was. Which one was that?
Steam VR.
Yeah, and it's did Valve do the Vive? Anyway, whatever. Anyway, I can't remember.
Yeah.
But they did like a demo one. So there's like a whole. You're in like a lab and there's a load of science
I bet Ruth
desks.
fucking loved that because she was like, "Ooh, I can do science now."
Well, first off, there's like a robot dog in there that you can bend down and pet. So
Good.
I wasn't paying attention. I was just on my phone or something and watching Ruth, and so she was just like, "Oh, it's a dog." I just looked up and she was like crouching on the floor, like just stroking the floor or something. I was like, "What?" And then I looked at the laptop screen because it was just running off a laptop. This was, but like, and you could see what you could see in the goggle view, and I was like, "Oh, that is the cutest of dogs."
Honestly, like everyone's all like very doom and gloom and how the human race is inherently evil and shit like that, but the one of the few things that gives me hope for our species is the fact that when you see a cat or a dog in a game, you want to pet it.
Yeah, and this wasn't even a real dog. It was like basically a cylinder with like 4 sticky outy pretend legs. It was like even trying to look like a dog, but it obviously was a dog.
K9 from Doctor Fucking Who. It's just it's a Hoover with a facsimile of a dog face on it.
Yeah, and you're like, I love that thing. I would murder for that thing.
I please ask me to murder for it because I want it in my home. It's like this is why I want this is one of the reasons I want a Roomba. Not only because it would be just cool to have a little robo dude like hoovering around. I want to name him because humans will pack bond with anything, and I'm okay with that. Especially because oh god, what was it in The Sims 4? You can get Roombas. And more specifically, you can name them. So it was like Empty Trevor, and I'm like, I am here for that.
I'm here for Empty Trevor.
And also, if you have the cats and dogs expansion, cats will frequently sit on your Roomba and just be driven around. It's so fucking funny.
That is amazing.
It is pretty good. Fuck EA, but oh my god, that was awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But yeah, sorry to interrupt with...
No, it's all right.
I just want to pet all the dogs.
Yeah, fair. So yeah, that's the lab, and then if you go up to one of the desks, you it comes back to putting something on your head. You pick up, there's like an orb that's floating, and it looks like a watery orb, sort of the size of like a beach ball sort of thing. And the way that you go into each of the different games within the lab, you just grab this ball and just go flop and just slurp it onto your head. And you don't know that's how you do it, but it's just intuitively you pick it up and you go, "What do I do with this? I'll try this," and just put your head in it, and it just that's how you travel into the different worlds.
It reminds me. I got. Oh, sorry, dude. Carry on.
No. Okay.
I was saying the achievements in Super Hot VR are post-it notes.
Okay.
And I got one because it just kind of falls in front of you, and then when you're not in the VR in Super Hot and you're in a computer room, they're all on the back of a door to your right. They're just post-it notes there showing you the achievements that you've got. And I was just playing catch with one, and it was just... It's this is mind-blowing. Because I remember when I was very young, my father took me to a computer convention. I must have been about 5, I think. And they were showcasing VR headsets there at a couple of the booths. So I managed to have a go at not just Doom in VR, but Simpsons Doom, which is a very popular mod.
Okay, good.
And honestly, Doom mods back in the day, it was insane. There were so many fucking Doom mods out there.
Yeah, what year did Doom come out?
93.
93.
Yeah.
So you would have been at least 6.
Yeah, I think my brother might have just been born then, so yeah, I was probably about 6. And honestly, that thing was wearing a fucking CRT on your head. It was so fucking heavy.
Yeah, right.
The gamer funk was real. No, I'm joking. It just
No,
honestly, I always liked the smell of conventions and network days because there was that warm electronic smell.
I get you.
That honestly, that is if they sell a scented candle that smells like that, I will literally, for the first time in 25 years, be able to actually relax. Which sounds great. So yeah, and coming from that, where you basically just had to I think you used a joystick or something. I can't remember what the actual interface was, but moved your head, and that was basically all you could do. And like doing like from coming from that to super hot VR is just like, Jesus fucking Christ. That's intense. It's just really interesting to see how far it's come along.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it's just the whole thing's super impressive. So this lab game, so there's a few. I don't have much more to say, but there's a few different games. There's like a bow and arrow one, and it's a tech demo basically, a whole bunch of different.
It's like Wii Sports or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. But one of them is you go into the Portal universe, and you're in like a robot repair room, and you hear GLaDOS talking to you, and I was like, hey, last time I saw you, I threw you in fire, I think, but she's like, oh, if it's alright, it's fine.
What's a bit of incineration between mortal enemies?
But she's there being a dick, and you're like, oh, this is fun. And then you have to repair a from Portal 2, the short one. Is that Atlas or is that?
That's Atlas.
Yeah,
because the other one's Peabody.
Because it's
Atlas,
long
I remember because it's like it's like a globe.
Yeah, so like you have to repair. I don't know if it is Atlas or it looks like Atlas. It's one of those ones. And like, there's just one bit, you try and do. It's got the valve humor, so it says you've got to go turn around and open the drawer, and you open the drawer. It's like, not that drawer. You've opened the wrong drawer. Please open the other drawer. Oh, this one's a pocket universe. They now will think you're a god, and it's a whole, very valve humor. And you're like, okay, yeah. And you close that drawer, and one of the little dudes in the pocket universe falls out, and he's like crawling over the floor, and it's good. But there's one bit in it, so you have to repair Atlas. So you have to grab onto the thing and like pull him open basically to get into his controls. And you just hear a screaming start happening. You're like, or like a robotic screaming. And you're like, what the hell is this? And it's like, and the voiceover goes, you may be concerned at the screaming, but please be assured that whilst robots can feel pain, they can't express it. I was like, oh my god.
That's the most, okay,
I don't think I can play this game anymore.
That's the most Valve line I have ever fucking
so
heard.
Good. Oh man, yeah. There it was a fun. I have no idea if it's a free thing that you get if on Steam or whether I don't know, but I won't have that. I won't have that on the Quest because it's a Steam thing. But
yeah.
But yeah, I reckon if it's just a free little playing around with it thing, I highly recommend that because there's like there's like a bow and arrow game which is it's standard but good fun. Little things where like you've got a bow and arrow, you can turn. There's a torch behind you. If you turn round and touch the tip of the arrow to the torch, that you set your arrow on fire, which isn't a novel thing in a game, but just being able to realise, I wonder if you can do this, and just turning your body to do it is just it's pretty cool. Yeah. Anyway, VR all good, and yeah, I've bought one, so hopefully that'll arrive possibly before Christmas, possibly not.
Fingers crossed.
Who knows? But I mean, yeah, it's fine. I'm not in a massive rush for it. But yeah, very good, very good. Anyway, Snipe.
Hi.
What have you been up to?
Nothing new, really. I did watch a movie.
A movie?
Your movie.
I watched 10 Cloverfield Lane, and that movie is fucking awesome.
Yeah, I've heard good things. I've not seen it yet.
It's really good. Because, especially because Cloverfield was just not as good.
Yeah.
I could write an essay about how disappointing I find Cloverfield.
I know,
the first
honey,
movie.
I know. But no, it's like it's quite a small cast, and the actors are perfectly cast. John Goodman is
The
good
best.
man.
he's a good.
He's a good
honestly,
man.
I grew up like watching him in Roseanne as like Dan, and like. He was always such a nice kind of like jolly dad, and like seeing him being like this slightly unhinged conspiracy it's like you realise.
Please bear in mind, I want to watch it at some point.
No,
I haven't seen it.
This is not spoilers.
Okay.
It's just he's like a conspiracy theorist.
Okay.
And like seeing him play this quite intense conspiracy theorist is just like shit. Okay, you're a really good actor, and he fucking sells it. And like the actors in it are brilliant. Honestly, like there's like. I was, like, the tension in it, I was literally, like, chewing my nails off, like, oh, fuck. It's like, obviously this is probably gonna be fine, but I'm still gnawing my fucking fingers off, and oh my god. But yeah, it was thoroughly enjoyable, and I can definitely recommend it. Especially because you keep sitting there going, okay, so is this what's happening? Is that what's happening? And it keeps you guessing for a good bit, and it's good. It's good. So yeah, I'm not going to spoil anything about it. It's just really good. Go watch it. I haven't really been playing anything new. I've just been playing a bunch of Destiny and Sims and played a bit more of Terminator Resistance.
Okay.
Which I've actually started to get up to speed with now, which is nice. They've got like little CRTs, like little like computers that are your save points. You just go up and you just save. I'm killing things more efficiently. I'm hiccuping a lot.
I was wondering what that noise was.
Sorry, it was a weird hiccup. And yeah, like I think my biggest problem with it right now is in order to progress, I need a pipe bomb. I can't craft them yet, and I can't find any. And I accidentally like threw them all at a big spider droid. So it's just like, because if there's like cracks in walls, you can throw it at them and explode.
Yeah.
There probably will be another way in, but can't be fucking arsed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I do have like level 1 lockpicking, which is so funny in games where you're like, okay, I can pick locks.
That's not how lockpicking works.
It's literally just because it's a callback to Sarah Connor in like Terminator 2, where she's just got a couple of hairpins, but like one of them's like a hairpin, and then the other one's like that's the torque wrench kind of thing, like the oh shit, what do they call it? It's torque. The tension wrench. There we go. And it's just like okay, and it's really funny to me because you don't have to do anything with the pins. Like, because Skyrim is probably, like, the lockpicking, and that's probably the closest I've seen, that I've personally seen, for lockpicking, and that's basically it, because you go in and you jiggle the pins, and you get it above the shear line and everything.
Yeah, that is not in Skyrim.
What the fuck? Is it? It's one of those, like,
Yeah, the Skyrim one's just like you spin it around.
Oh, it's you just look at.
There's
There's one way you literally see the pin. I can't remember which one that is. Then I think it's a fantasy game, but I can't remember offhand.
Yeah. For some reason, I want to say, is that Anachronox? But it's like a weird abstraction of it.
Don't know, but yeah. So it is kind of fun, but you know that's the same with knowing how to do something that you know. That is simplified in a game.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sitting there going, this game is the worst because it doesn't portray lockpicking as it actually is, because I'm not a boring motherfucker. And I understand game flow and, you know, difficulty curves. So, before anyone comments about that. But no, and it's very kind of like, there's a guy who keeps shouting at me called Colin. And he's with the little group you're with. And he's like, because you get like a couple of, you know, side quests and then you get the main quest. And I was like, well, I'll go do side quests. And I walk towards one of them and he's like, he comes on the radio and he's like, is there any reason why you're going in the goddamn buttfuck opposite goddamn direction to where you're supposed to be going? And I'm like, oh, I'm just picking up something for Ryan. And he's like, fucking okay, yeah, take your time, ain't, you know, I'll just fucking start a picnic, I guess. He's just so fucking like... He loves the bants a bit too much. Like, to the point where I'm, like, sneaking around a corner and he just radios me and goes, you know, it's a shame you ain't staying longer for us, because I think I get my best insults out on your worthless ass. And it's like, Colin, I love you, let's get married. It's very funny. Because, like, there's a part where it's, you know, supposed to be, like, secretly tutorializing you of, like, oh yeah, there's different ways to approach, like, different things. So it's like, he messages you and goes, hey, there's, I can even see that crack on the wall from here, so if you want to, like, throw a pipe bomb at it and, like, explode it, you could probably get in. Or find some other fucking way, I don't care. And then it just hangs up on you and you're like...
Good.
Thanks, Colin. Also, there's a puppy.
Oh,
good.
Can you pet the puppy?
You pet the puppy when you first pick it up.
Nice.
It's in a cutscene, but yeah.
That's fine.
And like, and the thing is, it's really funny because like, you pet the doggo and you go, oh, I know a little boy who'll love you, and you like put him in your coat. And it's like, fine. And he becomes like an inventory item, basically. And like, Colin comes in and goes, now I know you didn't mean to have your radio on to like broadcast that shit to me, you fucking creep. And it's like, oh my god. Like, the fact that he's just like, on the radio, just like, busting your balls is fucking great. I hope nothing happens to Colin, but I know something will, so, you know. But no, he's great, and I honestly, yeah, it's fucking awesome. The music is fantastic. Although anytime there's like a bit of detection, it's the same music track, and it's like
You get a bit old after a while.
it does. But yeah, really been enjoying that. It is good.
Good.
Yes. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I have done that is new or that I haven't talked about, and apart from getting donuts from a fey creature.
Yeah. But I think we spent enough time at the start of the podcast discussing your donut deal.
Meow.
So
I do not regret it at all.
Okay. So Matthew, do we have any questions from the lovely listeners at home?
Yes. Questions and recommendations and thoughts and such.
Okay.
Cool.
Are you going to tell us them or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was waiting for you to ask me the horrendous email address.
Okay. What is the email address that people should send in their emails to, Snipe? No.
No. At Snipe.
thedrummermat@gmail.com.
Excellent.
Yep, easy as that. Someone did
and
email.
It's still hard to remember.
Yeah, someone did email the old email address asking what the new email address was, but I think it might have been a joke. So because it's yeah. I can't remember who it was.
It's just
so apologies.
too complicated to remember.
But no, I appreciate it. We still get a smattering of one to the old email address, which makes me happy. But I'm not going to say what it is now, because then only the real fans will know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gatekeeping our own audience.
Yeah.
Yep, that's is the good way.
Yeah, that's yep. All right, so
anyway, what questiones?
Rob.
Hello, Rob.
I was thinking of learning to play the guitar for COVID and New Year's resolution. Do you have any advice?
Short one is as officially a guitar player.
I play bass guitar.
Yeah,
which doesn't quite count.
Which is
You're 2/3 the way there.
I always say when you're going to learn to play an instrument, don't worry that you're going to be kind of bad for a while. Like it takes
sucking at something is the first step to being kind of good at something.
Like I found with guitar that like I it took me about like 6 months of kind of just being a bit bad at it, and then it started to click. And
of course, maybe Rob will
you might get
quicker.
You might get it quicker.
Or it could be slower, but that doesn't mean that you won't be capable at some point.
You'll still, every time you pick up and play your guitar, you are either getting better or your brain is like compartmentalizing things to make you better. So just keep doing it.
Yeah, and one thing that I found really useful when I was first learning is that I just play along with songs that I liked. So like you go online, you look up a tab for the song, and you try and find some stuff that you can play, because obviously when you're starting out, you're probably not gonna start playing like thrash metal or something. It's going to be a bit much.
It's going to take some time.
Also, if you end up ever learning ska, don't be a weirdo like me and learn to play Catch-22 as your first stuff. Oh god, that's really fast. But yeah, pick a song that you are going to, you think you're going to play, like I played along to like Brain Stew and stuff by Green Day, things like that. And just play along to them once you've kind of you're used to like playing a handful of chords and stuff. And I found that gets you. It weirdly prepares you to play with other people, because you get used to like having to stay in time and like having to switch between different things that when you're just kind of practicing on your own, you don't necessarily have to do. Like, oh god, I've got to switch from playing like a rhythm part to a lead part in this song, like. And you kind of get used to doing that by just playing along to stuff.
Basically, don't be ashamed of just having to play Smoke on the Water over and over again.
And you're going to start off simple, and then you build up. And
just keep at it.
Yeah, and good on you, because I found playing guitar to be a hugely rewarding thing. And the bonus point is that once you've learned how to play something like guitar, it then makes learning, say, bass guitar or ukulele or mandolin or any other instrument in that kind of thing a lot easier.
Yep.
So
because you've built up the coordination there. So.
Yeah, basically, if you can play guitar, you can badly play bass guitar like straight off the bat.
Also, I would recommend don't learn on nylon strings. They are fucking horrible.
Oh, I like nylon strings. They're so soft for your hands.
They're gross.
It depends on what
Hate
kind of
them.
music you want to play,
Yeah,
really.
if
Because
you-
nylon just has a very particular sound.
I know, and I hate them. Fucking ugh.
Yeah, I'm you know,
I don't know if they're going
yeah.
electric or acoustic, to be honest. I can't remember. They might have said in the email, but I didn't write that bit down.
Electric's a lot easier because,
It's a lot less painful.
you know, it's a lot less painful to play. So, you know,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like hand pain, not just emotionally anguishing. No.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like you do a strum of a fucking like acoustic and you're like,
If you learn how to do power chords, you can basically play at least
can
the
play
basic
anything.
version of every single song.
yeah,
So-
you can play about 80% of all music ever written.
Yeah.
So
And
But
then the other
yeah.
20%, you can play along to it, even if it's not what their guitarist is playing. You can
Yeah.
still play the chords and play along to it. So,
yeah.
yeah, that's a cheat.
yeah.
All right, next up, Technician Sourwell. This one is a
Hello.
personal question, but I feel like we've done enough to, like, encourage people and, like, make people feel comfortable that
I'd
they
like
can
to
write in
think
these things.
people think that they're
So-
pretty. I would like to think that we give the kind of impression of quite approachable with
Yeah.
kind of more personal
Yeah.
stuff,
So-
and especially because everyone's so respectful of our
Yeah.
boundaries as well.
So, my lovely wife wants to get healthier and lose some weight. I love
Mm-hmm.
her thick, notice the third C,
Oh yeah,
self, but it causes her back pain and shoulder pain, so I support her decision. She has ADHD and bounces off most health plans. She has body image issues and still has a hard time accepting that I still think she's unbearably hot. So I want to help her with her goal of being healthier, while also reassuring her that my love is unconditional, and you know that doesn't necessarily matter for them. So, any tips?
Well, I mean, speaking as a fitness nut myself, and someone who I probably have some form of ADHD. I don't know. I honestly, literally, I took an online quiz to see if I have any of the indicators, and I got bored halfway through and booted up WoW. So I think I probably do. And then I was like, oh shit, yeah, I was taking a quiz, and then I was like, I can't be bothered anymore. I think that's proof enough. It is really hard to keep this shit going. There's no sugarcoating it. It is really difficult. And there's so much misinformation and
Oh, yeah.
just outright scams out there, and it's bullshit. I'd say if you want to kind of help, like, gym buddies are literally, like...
Yep.
14422. Sorry, siren again. I
Breaker,
think.
breaker, 14422, over.
I would say if you want to kind of like help her out, because let's be honest, if somebody has poor body image, speaking as someone who has poor body image, you could tell her that you find her to be the most beautiful like person in the world 8,000 times a day, and it wouldn't sink in because it just doesn't, and it's just an unfortunate thing of having like, you know, body like self-esteem issues. The only person who can really help with that is her. And honestly, you sound like you're being very conscientious and very caring in that regard. So, you know, you're doing your part. You're doing good. But if you kind of want to help her stay focused, you know, because she's obviously wanting to do that, you could, like, go out if she goes out running or walking, you could go out with her. Kind of like they do this a lot with having like gym buddies and stuff is a really good idea, because then you go you know, because you sit there and go, oh, I can't be bothered to go to the gym today, and then that's it. Whereas if you have a friend that you always go with, or a partner that you always go with, you sit there and go, oh, I can't be asked, but my partner's going, so I'm going to as well. So that can help a lot. And just kind of like, just try and get involved with it as well. Like, you know, if she's looking kind of like into more healthy or more protein rich or more nutritious kind of like meals, then, you know, learn some new recipes yourself and like healthy ones, and just cook them, make them like for the both of you. You know, just that kind of thing of just get involved. So, you know, it'll help her feel a bit more supported. And you'll probably, you know, be able to eat tasty, healthy food as well, which is never a bad thing. So, if any of that makes fucking sense, yeah, and yeah, that's my personal advice. But I mean, like, Drummer Butt, you're a big old runner.
Yeah, for me, it helps to gamify it as much as I can. And for me, that's just a setup. I just use for running, I use Map My Run, which is, a run tracking GPS
Is that by
thingy.
Nike?
It got bought by, I think, Under Armour at some point. But
Oh shit! Yeah, no,
I don't think it was when I first started using it. But anyway,
Yeah.
I use that.
Also-
and I don't ever go back and look at old runs. But just knowing that they're recorded somewhere makes it feel like it counts more somehow.
Yeah. I mean, like I do that. It's like, okay, so within this a lot of time, I have covered 3K, but tomorrow I want to try and cover 3.2, or and it kind of keeps you in like, and it just being competitive, because I am so inherently competitive to my detriment, so I try and make it work in my kind of favor, which is tricky, but you can manage it. So yeah, like little things like that. That's also
I mean,
something
the
to pass
downside of
on.
it is that if you can get too into these things and gamify it too much, you go too hard and then get burnt out really quickly. So that is the downside of that. So you've got to balance it as to whether that works for you or for her. But it helped me.
I will say, with like getting to be more active and stuff, my biggest piece of advice is it doesn't matter if you don't if you don't get up at 5 a.m. and do 2 hours lifting at the gym. That doesn't matter. As long as you get up and have a walk around the block, just do something. It doesn't have to be a full workout. It doesn't have to be like a full like proper thing. Just move. That's all that matters, is that you do something. Because it's so easy to go, well, I can't do a full routine, so I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah.
And that's what fucks you up.
And then you're like, well, I've missed a day anyway. I might as well miss a few days. And
and it's I'm not.
I
It's,
guess
it's a very slippery slope.
It doesn't have to be every day as well, I guess. It doesn't. A lot of these things, and it is a boring thing to say, but if you increase what you do ever so slightly, that helps.
I mean,
you don't have to go like a full hardcore every single day doing a full workout. You can do if you want to, if you enjoy that, fine. But you can just,
it's not for everyone.
Yeah, you can just do a
recently,
little
my fitness instructor, he was telling me basically there's like a 10 for 10 for 2 weeks, or like 10 days. But it's basically just to try and trick you into habit forming. So every day you do 10 minutes of cardio.
Okay.
Every single day. Just 10 minutes. And that could be like, like yoga, like having a brisk walk around the block. It just you need to raise your heart rate consistently for 10 minutes every day for like 2 weeks. And just doing that, because you sit there and go, well, I've done 10 minutes, I might as well do a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, it just kind of gets you into that mindset that as long as you do something, that's important. It's like, even if it's just walk to the shops a little bit quicker than you usually would, it's good. It's positive. It's having a good effect. So, yeah.
Yep.
Wib, do you have anything to add?
No, I'm a terrifying sedentary monster. And
Don't squat.
Don't squat ever. It's bad. That's my only advice that you should not follow.
I will say always like cool down. Always warm down.
Yeah, I'm really bad at that, and it's not a good thing to do.
How do you even have legs?
Who knows?
Because if I didn't do my warm-ups and warm-downs, I'd literally just explode and die.
Yeah, I trick myself into doing it. If I'm going on like a 5k run or something, I'll run 3k one way, and then when I turn around, I only have to do 2k to stop, and then I have to walk a bit on the way home. So I have to do the cool down as part of that walk. Otherwise, I just wouldn't.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's everything.
Yeah. Hope any of that helps.
Yeah, hope that helps at all.
Okie dokie. Next up, M-Man. So,
Hello.
first up, in relation to Snipe's dinosaur question, I would
Yes.
like to be an ankylosaur
Good choice.
because they're the paladins of dinosaurs.
They are,
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
have like
fair.
a weaponized butt, and I think that's awesome. So yeah, no, good choice there.
For Christmas, I'm getting the Start Collecting Skinks box, and that comes with a Bastilon, I think they're called, and they're basically ankylosaurs.
Nice.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
All right, first question. Since The Infinite and the Divine just proved that a Necron novel can not only work, but actually be good, how do you guys feel about a novel that follows two people that I can't pronounce? Nemesta Zandrek and Vanguard Oberon. I did not know who these people are. For context, we've got context here. Necron General, who has apparently gone insane and thinks he's in the past and he's flesh and blood, but he's such a good technician that he's kind of allowed to just carry on doing things. Which sounds quite good fun.
That just screams liability, but okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure Necrons hadn't have like liability insurance. I don't think they care.
Maybe they should. I mean, have they thought about that? No, that's why they're not fucking ruling the galaxy right now.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't read that novel, so, like, I can't put forth, like, any suggestion as to how good it is, or, like, how it manages it, but, like, I mean, Necrons are much more, you know, like, human's the wrong word, but they have been, like, they're much more, like, of a character than they were, like, back in, like, 3rd edition sort of time. When they were just kind of mindless automata for the most part, and like you know, I'm sort of the opinion that like for you can probably make a novel work for most of the characters. Although I'm not hugely familiar with like the intricacies of modern Necron lore, so like I don't know these characters if there's something specifically about them that makes them particularly difficult to cover. But even if you've got something that is not easy to write a story about, you can still do, you know, you can still do it from someone else's perspective, but it's, you know, about the other one, really. If it being the other person's story, so even if they themselves are hard to deal with. Because there's nothing inherent, like, you know, they say that they believe themselves to be flesh and blood. There's nothing wrong with an unreliable narrator, but it requires a good writer to, do that. But yeah, I don't know enough about that.
Yeah, well, there's apparently a bit of a, you know, a buddy type thing about these two, the Zandrek and Oberon. I don't know how you pronounce it.
Oberon.
They sort of think it'd be like a sort of Kock and Spirk. Kock and Spirk.
I'm sorry, Kock and Spirk.
Kock and Spirk. Just making a note of that one for titles.
Kock and Spirk, the greatest heroes of them all.
Yeah. Fucking hell. Kirk and Spock. There we go.
No. Kock and Spirk is way better.
Yeah, but that sort of dynamic, but like, you know, Warhammer. So, yeah. That sounds good to me.
Kock and Spirk.
Moving on quickly. Second question. For Snipe and Wib, if they have time, when are we going to get a final episode of the Snipe and Wib Plays Fire Warrior trilogy? The fans are demanding it, and by fans, I mean me, because I like to have it.
Never happening.
Yeah, I think it might be.
That game plays like putrefied testicles.
Oh no, that's not the issue. Because it got released.
Also, like, we can't.
It got released on GOG, and it's like a really good port. Like recently, and we got it, even though GOG are a bunch of cowards. Just fucking kowtowing to the Chinese government. Fuck you.
Capitalism is a fucking curse.
But the version that's on there is really good. No, it's just because it's so long since we did it. I would actually not be against like doing a full Let's Play. But another Snipe and Wib play like third part to it will never happen. No. I feel
like start over again because I remember there's Tau in it at least.
Yeah, I mean we made that video in like what 2012 or something.
Fucking talking. I hate
it. So it's old and like I don't even remember how far, actually no, I do remember how far we got into the game. We got into the part where it has a forced stealth section. It fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Forced stealth.
It's like the Fahrenheit stealth section.
I seem to remember it's even worse than that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it would be nice. We'll probably do a full Let's Play at some point.
Or maybe a stream of the whole thing. Like, do it
Who
on
the
stream,
heck knows?
But yeah, we won't be doing another Snipe and Wib play part. But I'm glad you enjoy it. Honestly, like it's kind of wild to me that there are people that A remember and B still watch some of the really old videos. Like, you know, you'll look at
when I was like super loud because I was like, I'm convinced no one will like me, so I have to really fucking try and be interesting and shit. And I'm just like,
It is genuinely fascinating to me how much over the 8 years that we have been doing this, how much our online demeanor has changed. I mean, maybe it doesn't seem that apparent to other people, but like I listen to like if I listen to a really old thing, like because sometimes I'll go back and watch some of the old stuff we did just out of curiosity. and like I'll see them, and I'm always kind of fascinated by it. I'm like, I would never like sound like that now. I like the scripted stuff, especially. We speak so fast, and we've slowed down a lot.
Huh.
And like, yeah, we're not as loud. Like the end of Snipe and Wood Play, which will be coming back at some point. Just the life got in the way. But yeah, like you listen to like the first episodes and the last episodes of it, and there's something stupid like 300 episodes or something.
Oh god.
Actually, no, it's probably not that. It's not that much. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, it
We should probably
was
check.
weekly, right? So if you're doing it for
It was like for like 6 years.
yeah, that checks out
So-
about that many.
Okay, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
eventually we'll get that done.
All right. Well, the final part Emma was saying was a game that they've been working on has just come out. It's called Battle Sister, which is relevant to what we were saying earlier. It's a 40k VR game.
Oh,
that's come out.
Yeah, it's out. I noticed it when I was looking through the Oculus store just to check what games were on there. It is out on the Quest. So, and I was eyeing it up, and I was like, "Oh, that looks interesting." So I responded to them to ask, like, I'm not sure how you can answer this, but is it any good? So,
Dude,
I haven't checked
this thing what you made,
so
is
who
it any
knows?
good? Yeah, we can't play it because it is an Oculus exclusive.
Oh, is it?
shit.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even realise.
Or at least it was.
that way around. Oh, it won't be for long. It'll be timed, surely.
I have no
know,
idea.
dude. VR is weird like that.
All right. Well, if I get it, because I mean, if it's half decent, a 40k VR game sounds excellent. Mm-hmm. Battle Sisters, excellent. It's all good.
Oh yeah,
So
definitely.
if and when I do end up getting it, and then if and when I'm allowed up to your house, I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
You can just borrow it and play. If it doesn't come across to anything else.
Thank you.
But yeah, hopefully it's good. It's got potential, but I've seen nothing about it apart from the intro screen. And the only reason I'm skeptical is that quite often 40k games, the good ones are good. Sometimes they're not.
There is.
In the nicest possible way. I don't want to be mean to anyone who made them, and I'm sure they'll
No.
put effort in and blah 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 blah. But also, sometimes I think Games Workshop just flash the license out to some random bloke in a shed somewhere, and sometimes that works. Sometimes
His
less so.
name is Carl,
Anyway.
and he works very hard. No.
Let's just say the post
Anyway.
THQ years have been erratic in quality.
Yes.
Okay,
But-
so like you guys are just straight up negging this poor person.
No, I'm not
at
saying.
all. I'm hoping it's good, and I'm not saying it won't be, but I'm just, yeah.
I really, really do want to play it, and yes, like I will find a way.
Yeah, we will find a
So
way.
yeah.
So good.
Because yeah, like I mean, aside from the fact that I was just kind of excited to see that there was a game that was like Sisters of Battle up front,
heck
just because of them being so historically sidelined by GW. So to not only have their new model line and everything, but to get a game is really cool.
A
And
game that not a lot of people will ever be able to play because it's an Oculus exclusive, and Oculus are pretty fucking pricey.
Yeah, well, that's the problem with VR, isn't it? As an inherent.
I'm just
Yeah, they're
being
one of the
cynical.
cheaper ones, honestly. That's one of the reasons we went for it.
Yeah.
There's there is a issue with VR that it's difficult for a lot of people to
Yeah.
play. If it's not the initial expense of getting the device, then it's the room to play it,
Yep,
or
yep.
some people just physically can't play it for various health reasons or mobility reasons. Like
Yeah,
so
you
it's-
have to have, fall in the lucky category on 6 or 7 different things.
Yeah, so it's but which is a pity because there are some really fun experiences to be had.
Yeah.
And I hope I do hope that Battle Sister is one of them. So good luck with
Yeah,
that.
fingers crossed.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Grox. So you asked for it. Here are my favourite dinos.
My man.
And they want to be able to turn it into the favourite kind of chickens as well, because that's sort of linked.
Very true.
So, first up, dinos.
Yep.
Well, this depends on my mood. If I'm angry, I want to turn into a Spinosaurus.
Fair.
Otherwise, a Stegosaurus would be pretty awesome.
Stegosauruses are pretty fucking legit.
But yeah, the pattern there is that they get fancy things on their back.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's pretty good.
chicken. I have no idea if these are real chickens or if these are video game chickens, or I have no idea.
Okay.
I like buff-laced Polish frizzle named Václav or Helena, and the Indian red jungle fowl rooster named Cristobal.
I am convinced Grox is fucking with us.
What?
Yeah,
I don't even remember the context for the chickens.
Oh,
Like-
it's just chicken.
Because they're dinosaurs.
To chickens are dinosaurs.
oh, okay.
Yeah, but I have no idea if.
I love how Grox has got to get fucking clever with me. Like, listen here, you little shit.
On a side
So
note,
fucking sick of being disrespected in my own goddamn podcast.
they did have to pause the podcast 3 times while listening to it on the most recent episode. Every time they happened to pause it when the last spoken word was "but."
I see
but-
you're an individual of culture as well.
But
But
okay, next up, some guy camping.
hello.
Greetings, blah, 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 blah. Just finished episode
Wow.
114 and have to say thank you to Snipe for letting me know about the old gods of Appalachia. So, a few things.
Appalachia.
How they say it is generally how they've heard it said. And they live in North Carolina, which is one of the states that the Appalachian apparently mountains run through. Because I'd only ever heard Appalachian. But,
Yeah, I mean, I've never heard it pronounced before, so I was just like Appalachia.
Yeah.
So and then like actually hearing someone
But yeah,
from
well,
that area
but
say
yeah, they're-
Appalachia. I
some
was
guy
like, oh,
camping
okay.
lives in North Carolina, which is where some of them are. And they've
Yeah.
The other thing is that the narrator of the episode isn't doing an old preacher voice. That's just how they all talk around there.
I love that. Honestly, like that's such a fun fucking act. There's like, I love accents and I love that kind of like dialect shit. And like, I've always wanted to either have a really thick Brooklyn accent, like a real New Yorkie kind of accent,
Yeah.
or like a real cowboy accent, like that kind of thing. And I'm just like, oh, I'll never be able to just do that. But it's just so fucking fun to listen to. It's so
Yeah,
nice.
it's a storytelling voice, right?
It's so good. It's great. Yeah.
Last, last bit from them is a recommendation. So it's for a YouTube series.
Oh,
Hell,
cool.
Hell of a Boss by VisiPop.
Okay.
Yes, I think it might be animated. I did check it out and then I've now forgotten. It's kind of
Well,
violent and has
I'll-
lots of language in it, but yeah.
I mean, a lot of things do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got a recommendation for you because in case you've been living under a rock. Jaden Animations.
Oh, yeah.
On YouTube.
They're really cool.
Her stuff is fucking
yeah,
phenomenal.
I've only seen a few bits.
I
I think,
watched,
I think Dicko
she-
got me into them.
Yeah, Dicko's like super into them as well, so you know. But yeah, can't recommend if you ain't seen already. So
Right, next up, Brad. In answer to
Hey.
Snipe's critical, important question from the last podcast,
very important.
I would turn into a Archaeopteryx.
Archaeopteryx.
Yeah.
Archaeopteryx.
Oh,
yeah.
it's not a silent P. It becomes a.
Archaeopteryx.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's such a hipster answer. Nice one, dude.
Archaeopteryx is the
Like a
feathered
proto-
one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it was like the one that everyone acknowledged was feathered before people acknowledged that most
Okay,
dinosaurs
yeah.
were feathered.
Yeah, and then you get Karens being like, I'm not wearing a mask in Tesco's, and also I don't like feathered dinosaurs because they're not scary. It's like, they're not the Wolfman, Brenda.
They're not supposed to be scary.
They're
They're,
not
supposed to be
yeah.
animals that existed.
That's like going, oh, this tiger doesn't have a big enough ass.
In fairness, that is a complaint I've always had about tigers. Their asses aren't big enough. Especially Tony
Yeah.
the tiger. You hear me, you small-assed weirdo.
Wow, way to body shame a cereal mascot, you fucking
I wouldn't be the first person.
I wish you were.
Do you remember?
Yes, I remember Tony the Tiger basically had to block loads of people on Twitter.
Tony the tiger had to lock down his Twitter account because
Why?
because
Because furries were thirsting after him as like...
furries were
partially-
objectifying Tony the tiger.
Excellent. I love that.
It was the funniest.
It's like, nice cheeks, they're great, and I'd like to clap them.
Perfect.
Oh my god, I listened to like a song where it was like getting my ass clapped, getting my cheeks clapped by an Egyptian mummy or something. I can't remember what the fuck it was.
Yeah.
Actually, I might have dreamed that.
Okay.
I've been having some fucked up weird dreams lately. Like, remember the one I was in a boxing ring sparring with John Bernthal? And like proper I was in like, you know, the proper girl TM boxing, so it's like, you know, crop top and boxing shorts, and he was in boxing shorts. And every time I dodged one of his punches, which was, you know, I think he was going easy on me in my dream, his trousers would get hiked like half an inch higher. And they ended up covering his nipples. It was really... The thing is, I think it's because I keep joking about him because he's a dweeb, and like you see him just out and about, like running, or you see him boxing, like photos of him boxing, his trousers are very high. They're like halfway up his chest because he's like 100 years. He's not. He's like 43 or something. But yeah, and like my brain was like, hey, wouldn't it be great if you actually got to spar with like one of your heroes, but then his trousers just kept getting higher, and I'm like, I don't. What?
Your dream logic is particularly bizarre at times.
It's like I had a dream the other day where I realized that I was in a dream, so I thought, fuck it, I'm gonna go do this, and then halfway through I had an existential crisis because I wasn't sure if it was still a dream. I think it was like, I'm gonna go eat a car. Because it's a dream and I can do what the fuck I want. And then I literally was about to bite into the bonnet and I was like, ooh, this might not be a dream. And then I'm just going to break my teeth on someone's fucking bonnet.
That sounds like you got faked out by a lucid dream.
Maybe? I don't know. It's just weird shit like that. Like, seriously, I wish I could remember some. Like, I told you about the one where I had a black and blue guinea pig that was immediately tamed by me.
Yeah.
And I basically was like, okay, I can't remember her name. I was like, you can have my Nana's old sitting room because she's dead. And so I put the box down there, and I'm just like, and then I go out to like, there was like this, there was like a ballroom event at the local fish and chip shop. Which is the most Australian fucking thing I think I've ever heard. And I was like, I've got to go there. And then I came back and I was like, oh no, where is she? And she, every time I shouted for her, she came out and ran in a little cute circle and then peered up at me very expectantly. And then I would put her back in the shoebox and take her to a different room.
Okay.
That's just the skimming the top of the insanity sundae that is my fucking dreams.
What question were we answering?
Something about John Bernthal.
Probably not.
Somebody.
Dinosaurs.
Okay. Next. I want the questions. Next thing is like, ask me questions about John Bernthal because he's my hero and I think he's fucking amazing.
Also, you could not.
I mean, I'm asking you as a personal favor, listeners, to just email me in and just be like, hey, so, like, if you were to lovingly knit John Bernthal a scarf, what colours would you use? And I'd be like, you know what? I'd use quite bright colours, because I know he's an absolute dweeb.
Okay. Can we get back to the questions?
No.
Yeah, alright. Big Titty Goth Girl.
Hi, Titters.
This one is primarily for Snipe, so apologies, Mats. Really glad to hear you're enjoying Resistance.
Yeah. Thank you again for gifting me the money to get it.
In the previous episode, you were curious about spiders, so they have a bit of info. The big armoured spiders are based on enemies from Terminator Salvation tie-in game.
All right, okay.
The
I don't recognise them.
The silverfish are from the Terminator 2 arcade game.
Yeah, I played that.
The T-47s are based on designs from Terminator 3.
Nice. Well, I mean, no one's perfect, but it's pretty good.
And then one last thing about it is that the developer's previous game was Rambo the video game, which is a god-awful rail shooter, apparently. So,
that was horrible, because they ripped audio, they didn't even rip the audio from the fucking VHS. It sounded like they put a microphone next to the speaker watching the VHS.
Yeah, it was really rough.
Really fucking bad. So I'm actually quite impressed that I've managed to make this as good as it is. Apparently. Yeah, no, fair play to him. Holy shit.
Right. Ruben.
Hello.
If you were off-brand versions of yourself, what would your legally distinctive names be?
Deadeye.
I'd probably be the thing that everyone, one of the names that people always misspell mine as, which is either Web or Whip.
Whip.
I think you'd be Web.
Wob.
Wob.
Like Wob.
Wob. And you'd be Trumpet Mike.
Trumpet Mike. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to make
Trumpet Steve.
Yeah, it's hard to make like an indistinct version of mine because mine is my alias is both not a word and a single syllable.
Okay, for like the other name I go by, it'd probably be Frederick Star Trek instead of Frank Star Wars.
You'd be Francis Babylon 5.
I'd be Francesca Firefly. That sounds like a fucking like D&D character that nobody likes. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Fred Space Above and Beyond.
I'd be French Space 1999.
Okay, I think people can probably get the gist now. Send in
No,
your,
no,
own,
it gets-
send in
No.
your own recommendations for names of...
And ask about, like, just random questions about John Bernthal.
Yeah. Sepulcrave?
Hello.
Sure. Sorry. I wonder if you've read Victor Lavelle's The Ballad of Black Tom. It's a retelling of one of H.P. Lovecraft's most egregiously racist and poorly written stories, but from
That's
the point
probably
of view
why
of
I ain't read it.
yeah, it could be any of them. Point of view of a black protagonist. So it's quite good, apparently.
I have not read that. I did not know it existed until 10 seconds ago. So
Yeah, and just the subject matter makes me incredibly uncomfortable anyways, so... But no, I'll keep my eye open for that, thank you.
And if they were to transform into a dinosaur, I should most likely wish to become an Ankylosaurus.
That's a good one. We've had a couple of ankylosaurs.
everyone wants to be the dinosaur equivalent of a space marine. So
Yeah.
So...
they're effectively
A
wearing
carnotaur.
their dinosaur power armor is what they're wearing.
No. Also, they look like Guile's hair.
What?
They look like Guile's hair
Why?
from Street Fighter.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do, because they've got flat heads that kind of like jut out at the top, and then they're just like, normal.
Are
Yeah.
we thinking of the same thing here?
Yes.
I don't see it at all.
Well, maybe you should open your fucking eyes.
Mm.
Open your eyes and stop being blinded by the
next email,
misinformation.
please.
Next email, which is the last email. Mikhail.
Okay.
Okay.
What's the most Christmas-related game that you have played? Be it tabletop, D&D, video game, whatever.
I think there was a Meat and Fuck Christmas edition.
Fucking hell. We did which we recounted on this very podcast. A D&D adventure with our original party.
And it was Die Hard. It was so
and
legit.
it started off like as us taking down an ice dragon, and then it became Die Hard.
It was so good.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. It's actually weird when you think about like there isn't that many like Christmas video games.
Thank God.
They don't. I guess because they're only really relevant like for a very brief time of the year, and video games take a long time to make.
Do you remember how like there'd always be like Christmas versions of like Jazz Jackrabbit or Doom, and like either they'd be modded or they'd just release like a few Christmas levels.
Yeah, because it was Holiday Hair, the Jazz Jackrabbit one.
I remember that one.
Yeah, Conduct Together has a holiday Christmas level.
Yeah, because they'll do that, but they won't be like a dedicated Christmas game. Although I do remember there was one which I think was called like Merry Gear Santa or something like that,
Oh,
which
Christ,
was
I remember that.
like a top-down stealth game
was
where
like-
you played as Santa trying to deliver presents, but
Solid Santa. Yeah.
it used the mechanics of like old school like stealth games, so like the original Metal Gear MSX games and things like that. But you were Santa.
The sleigh have started to move. I'm making that up. I don't know if that's in the game.
I don't.
But
know
if it
that.
isn't, then it's a bad game, and I'm amazing. So
Okay. Very last point from Mikhail. Dinosaur question.
yes.
The Seismosaurus.
Oh, that big old boy.
In brackets, Diplodocus.
Yeah, as I say, that's one of the big long neck fuckers.
That
Stop
way,
being racist.
I can go to the sea, transform, and emerge from the water while singing out Godzilla by Blue Oyster Cult.
I can't go that deep because I am incredibly alto. Wait, no, the soprano. I'm tenor.
I don't know.
They put me in the Sopranos for a bit, not the TV show, because that would have been fucking hilarious.
That's actually
'Cause
why
I was 14 at the time.
It actually why it ends on like spoilers. Why it ends on a black screen because you actually just tripped over like the camera and pulled the plug out.
Okay.
There's actually like a big shootout at the end, but they lost all the footage.
Okay. Wow. Fucking calling me.
Hey,
my
they let you as a
clubs-
teenager onto the set. Like, I'm not saying it's your fault. It is your fault, but I'm not saying it's your fault.
Mate, no, like when, at that creepy fucking like culty hippie school I went to, they had us all like separated into like sopranos and tenors, and then we had baritone, and like the teachers would always get kind of angry with me because they were like, yeah, she needs to be in like tenors, and then half of them would be like, she needs to be in like sopranos because she's a girl, and I'm like, because like I think I was the only girl in tenor, and like Ben, he was the only guy, and then his voice broke, and he got the deepest fucking voice, like seriously. School sucks, is what I'm saying, especially if they're hippie cult like fucking things. So
Yeah.
Good old Diplodocus.
Good
He's
old
a good
Diplodocus.
boy. Yeah. Good choice. I think Drummer Matt would be, what are they, iguanodons, where they just have like a hard head and they headbutt things and they're always giving you the thumbs up.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like me.
I mean, I don't think iguanodons had the head thing.
No, I can't remember. I think it starts with an I or something.
You're thinking of Parasaurolophus?
Parasaurolophus? No, that's the one with the kind of like boomerang horn kind of thing. I'm talking about like, they look like they've got Friar Tuck kind of.
Oh, yeah. Fuck, I've forgotten the name of those.
Yeah.
Apatosaurus? No, Apatosaurus is another long-necked dinosaur.
Yeah. But yeah, that's
yeah.
Drummer Matt because he's like, hey, and then headbutts you.
I don't know, I'm thinking...
He's Fonzie, but he headbutts people.
Can I be the wrong iguanodon? When they built them wrong in like Victorian era, and we just had a wrong version of iguanodons.
Are you the iguana wrong?
Yeah.
Just I just like wrong iguanodon. It's
Yeah,
just-
fair. I'm still gonna be a velociraptor because I'm small and incredibly annoying, but very dangerous if there's more than one of me.
Oh, God, yeah.
Don't sound so convinced. Like, oh no, yeah, absolutely, fucking
Oh
hell.
yeah. Manageable on their own, but if there's more than one, fuck.
My vision is also based on movement because I get bored and go like just wander off somewhere.
You're so fluffy.
I'm also very fluffy. I'm like the velociraptors from fucking Manly Guys doing manly things. I get stuck in cardboard tubes and just refuse to come out for my own stubbornness. I'm like, man.
That was the last email, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
It was. Shall we wrap up this podcast then? Because it's
grand.
again gone on for longer than I intended, and I'm not sure why or how. I'm not sure why or how is the number one review on iTunes, I believe, for this podcast.
I was going to say for like a different podcast. Like, okay. I done learned, I guess.
For quite a while, the only review on iTunes podcast thingy that I could see was the one by me, so...
It's very good and awesome, and also I'm not in this, I swear.
Every
Have
now and
you read
again...
the review? Because that is pretty much what I spoke.
Oh shit, really?
I think so.
Nice.
Every now and again, I do check because I think it's the only place that this podcast goes up that like has like a review section, and periodically I do take a look, and people seem to like it, which is
really nice, and thank you, and I'm glad you like it. We're not doing the self-deprecation thing because it's just kind of makes everyone feel bad. So. Thank you. We're glad that you like it.
There's ratings, but there's 3 written reviews that I can see, and yeah, one of them's me. A must-listen, enlightening romp through relevant topics. Review totally not by Drumblebee.
I was about to say how wrong that fucking person was. Like, this is the wrong podcast. Like, informative and relevant topic. Yeah,
Are the other 2 jokey, or are they like someone earnestly saying we're doing a good job?
They're good. They're top notch and fabuloso.
Oh, that's a good one. I like Fabuloso.
We're
Very
5 stars
fancy.
out of 5 with 22 ratings, don't you know?
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody who
Like,
gives
comment,
us good
subscribe.
rating. Yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. And once we reach 100 reviews, you get to see Drummer Matt's frenulum.
I don't know which bit of my body that is.
Actually, okay, a frenulum is like, the thing is, it's not just a penis thing. You know, when you lift up your top lip and there's that little strip of, like, sinew between...
Yeah. Your bandage
That's a
string bit on your face.
frenulum? Yeah. It's like that, and it was going to be the whole joke of, like, everyone thinks it's the penis thing, but it's actually just that.
Alright, good. Yeah,
Yeah.
that probably won't happen, but cool. Thanks for listening.
I want to see your frenulum. In your mouth. Not your penis one, that'd be weird.
You know it's going to be so easy to just remove that sentence you just said.
People have quoted me saying significantly worse things, so I honestly don't fucking care anymore.
Yeah.
Although it would be great if that was somebody's text alert and they were on the bus and it's just me demanding to see a stranger's frenulum and everyone's like, okay, and then everyone gets their gums out, like the mouth sluts they are.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and then everyone bugger off.
Yeah, goodbye.
Okay, thanks very much for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Mouth sluts.